Let me scroll up to the stardate. There it is. Captain's Supplemental Log, Stardate 60084. We have moved closer to what we have confirmed to be Greffel Station and contacted. Let's go down to his name. Sog Hegborg, son of Nox. And it appears the situation aboard the station is more complicated than originally thought. I've ordered Commander Thralic and an away team to head aboard to see if we can help rectify that situation in some way. I'm currently awaiting a response back. Hopefully we'll get some good news and continue figuring out how to get out of this lower plane of existence. End log.
All main characters, give me fitness plus command, difficulty 2. Your characters have been in service working on this problem for essentially a full day. Fatigue is going to start setting in. These calls will come up as they go. If you fail, you're getting fatigue, which will lower your max stress. Feel free to choose who among you goes first. And of course, for those listening, this is a 5-threat game.
Well, first, I think.
I think I might be good to go first.
Sorry, I'm typing in Twitch chat.
All right. Well, I've got a 15 here, which I think is probably on the higher end of the scores. So yeah, I'll take lead here. GM, focus in athletics.
Yes.
All right. Trait of relentless.
Yep.
All right. And anything else? Trait of military family for the discipline.
I'll say no here.
All right. Hoplite commander.
That I'll give.
All right. I have 2 free hits. What was the difficulty again?
2.
Cool. I'll try and generate some momentum. Yeah, take a threat for an extra die.
He's only got 36.
Exactly.
4 momentum generated.
That's 4 momentum. Yeah.
Next.
So I'll say to the rest of the crew, I can crush this roll, so if people want to spend momentum, knock yourselves out.
Yep. Yeah. Oh shit.
All right, yeah, I'm only rolling an 11. So, do you mind if I spend some momentum?
Go for it.
Okay. Actually, GM.
Yeah.
I think, my thought is either the Veteran of Two Wars talent could either help me in the sense that I've done this before or harm me because I've been doing this for too long. I guess it's your call on that.
I'll let it bring down by 1.
Okay. In that case, an 11. We roll an 11 twice. Sure, I'll spend 1 momentum. If you have an interesting idea, I can let this stand.
I have an idea, sure.
Okay, then.
I think I'll go next, unless you want to call the complication now.
Oh, I have it. The complication is the counselor gonna have something rather nasty happen in her presence. So no threat for me. The complication's been set into my mind.
Okay, for it to come up. Got it. I will spend a momentum, either top of the class or go-getter as traits.
I will take both.
Did you just roll dice to determine that?
Yes.
Okay.
So does that make it diff 0?
Yep.
Okay.
IRL dice roll?
To see how lucky I feel. If I'm on the fence, I do that sometimes.
Okay.
Well, I generated 2 momentum, so
Who's next?
Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah, go for it, Ness.
Yeah. Composure or survival as a focus.
Composure. Yep.
Weird call out, but patient as a trait.
No. They're not known for being especially low on sleep. You nap a little. You probably nap quite frequently, but
Enlisted as a trait.
no.
Okay. Don't laugh at
Starfleet
me.
actually gives their enlisted proper break times and stuff.
All right. My target number's not bad. The 14 actually. It's actually pretty good. Yeah, I'll take 1 momentum.
And next after Varuk, falls to either Arlen or Ryloff at this point,
Yeah,
or the
I mean,
captain.
I can do it whenever.
Ryloff?
I'll go.
Oh, you'll go?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. This and command. Limit pusher. I can push the limits of
Yeah.
my body.
Easy. Yep.
Reckless.
Complication increase.
Kind of a play here. Or ADHD. Maybe I'm hyper focused on the task of getting out.
This is just raw fatigue, fighting through the fact you've been up for way too long.
Okay. Focus on technical insight. Technically, I'm tired.
No. People heard me roll dice. Now everyone's getting crazy. Whoops! No, stop. I looped. Stop, Lilac. Thank you.
I'll take a momentum.
Okay.
Oh, bollocks. Oh, wait,
You're-
never mind. I got it. As limit pusher.
Yep. Ryloff, you can't escape me now.
What was the difficulty again?
2.
2, survivor trait.
Yeah.
I don't believe any of the other traits work for that. I am paranoid if that hurts me.
Surprisingly not, no.
Okay. No, I'm not making him do shit. Sorry, I didn't realize. I forgot to mute. Survivor focus,
I'll take it.
and it was what stats?
Fitness command.
Command. He's got like a command 3, right?
Yep.
I'll give you a momentum if we have one.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Do that. Roll 3.
Do that. Roll 3.
Well, shit.
And out of the park it goes. Crits all around.
How much? What? Oh, sweet, nice. I'll take it.
I'll
Momentum
take it.
boy.
Well, maybe you want to spend determination to re-roll? Mark, no.
Yeah. Okay. Not really.
No.
Well, unfortunately, the roll is still landing on your jaw.
No. I mean, you got the roll wrong.
I did. Well, maybe I was trying to cheat on his behalf, and you weren't supposed to catch me. How about that?
I mean, you're still going to pass with 5, but it wasn't the 6 hits. I was just making sure. 'Cause I think he said he had 3.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Would have been 5 hits. Yeah, not 6.
Tried and tested.
Yep.
Tiger of Narendra.
I won't say yes. Well. Yeah, I'll take it.
I'm at difficulty 0. Commanding presence. You know, it makes no difference.
It makes no difference.
Sorry, I thought you already rolled. Is this for a different roll? Oh no, Thralic rolled. My bad.
Yep.
Yeah,
The other red coat did it.
Yeah, because my fitness command is a 16. Focus in mental prowess.
I will take that.
Tiredness is only a temporary condition. I'll give you a threat. Why not? So we're currently 5 floating. Of which I very much doubt we can do anything with.
Not that I could think of off the top of my head.
We spend it to give the counselor a nap.
Oh, the counselor made the roll. That's not the problem.
Ah,
Spend 5 bonus momentum to pick a fight with the psionic being fucking with us?
Okay, I can do that. That can certainly be arranged.
And why would you do that?
Because it's probably in line with something Penn would do. I can see the problem now.
Oh, it's in character. I wasn't questioning that.
And our first scene, you get to hang on to all 6 of that
Yay!
as we go to Midbay. Counselor Aza.
Hello.
Hi. You're at your desk. You know there's an away mission going on.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of glance at the clock briefly on your console, and you do some quick math. Yep. And just as it ticks over, that would make it hour 25. You've been up and around for more than 4 shifts, even if you're being generous about it.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, you would have slept by now, had lunch, meditated a bit, maybe saw a friend or two, and you're still working on this. You're still awake.
Mhm.
I mean, you don't feel great, but you're not
Mhm.
stressed out or nothing surprisingly. But you know, as a medical officer, that the whole crew is going to be wearing down. There are some species that can go with little sleep better than others.
Mhm.
Others have already gone to sleep, like they just had to. Some species just have short days. And it's on that pondering that you hear a loud bang outside your office.
Yeah, I'm picturing she's doing what I do when there's a long night and you have something to do, and that's, you've made a fresh cup of Bajorn blend coffee and you're sitting at your desk, like holding it up against your cheek, and she's going to hear the bang, let out a very tiny sigh, and then take one last big sip of her coffee and go out into the room and see what happened.
It was you. No, I'm just kidding. There's only so far I could pull that stunt.
It was Varuk in the med bay with a tricorder.
Varuk, you would have heard this too, but Aza kind of is the one that comes upon the guy. Because there was a loud bang as the person fell over and dropped everything. And you see Lieutenant Commander Tercy lying on the ground. And you see a few medical staff kind of rushing over to him because he just dropped. And so they're kind of moving step away. They're clearing away some of the glass that hit the floor.
Achilles
Some of them-
heel, a Knives Out mystery.
Some people rub their eyes, trying to shake their head, and they work on trying to help him.
what the hell
How
happened?
bad? I want to rush over and like kneel down next to him. How badly injured does he look?
Insight medicine, difficulty 2.
You got it, Chief. Insight. Which one is medicine? Oh, medicine. Yeah, I don't have a focus in this. Oh, by the way,
Hmm.
never mind. I had stress on my tracker from the fatigue I forgot to clear out. Yeah, I don't have a focus, so just take one threat.
Certainly.
You said diff 3, right?
2.
Could I come over and assist, or am I still making my way over there?
You could assist, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll assist. Yeah, I'll do inside medicine. The emergency medicine as a focus.
You could throw that out there, yeah.
Cool.
So 3 float by my count.
Yeah.
It would seem to the two of you that the lieutenant commander is good old-fashioned exhausted, and he's just collapsed from the exhaustion. And it between the two of you, it does dawn on you that you both remember seeing Tersay from Gamma Shift yesterday, before your Alpha Shift started. Like he was the doctor who was supposed to hand off to you two, and then
So
he's
he's
supposed to go
been up
away.
for over 24 hours.
Yeah, he's been up way longer than you two. He's probably served a full shift on top of that, so he has another 4-8 hours on him.
So since the last time he had a nap, it's been a long road.
And Arlen dies.
And there it is. Yeah.
Okay. Why is he on our ship?
Tersay's on the wildfire. Not anymore.
Yeah, he came over to help out with the some of the crew that were brought over.
Okay, that's all the explanation I needed. Okay. So the only thing he has is exhaustion. He's not injured.
Let me see.
Okay.
Some bumps and bruises, but beyond that, very superficial stuff.
Of course.
He didn't break anything. He didn't break the skin or bone.
Okay. Nurse Rook.
Yes, Counselor.
Tersay is too exhausted to work right now. Could you help me bring him over to one of the tokens in the way, one of the exam rooms?
Absolutely.
He needs rest, but I would also like to give him some fluids and monitor him for a moment.
Absolutely, Counselor. Just one moment. I turn to the room. How many nurses are in here right now?
Two others right now.
You and you. How long have you been on duty today?
They give you times that they've been up roughly as long as you have, which is a while. They've been through Alpha, through Gamma with you.
Counselor, I'm worried that this is the start of a fatigue issue. I'll assist you. I'll help you bring Lieutenant Commander to exam room 2. And then we can talk further once we get him set up.
So I mentioned these 3 poof from that examination.
I actually, one other thing. Since it's an insight roll, are the 2 nurses that are in the room, are they exhibiting the same symptoms of fatigue?
For a momentum, that could be asked.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
They're about as exhausted as you are. They to put it mechanically, they made their tests, but they're at risk. They're at risk like you are. Like the longer you're staying awake, the more likely exhaustion is going to creep up on you and catch you at weird moments.
Question.
Possible answer.
So, judging from the scans and the assessment from the doctor and the nurse, is it just exhaustion, or is it a case of psilocybin? Like, even in the small dose, it's higher than usual.
That is a question you two could ask.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Part of it is raw exhaustion, but you're dealing with a lot of species that don't deal with psionic weight that often. The Vulcans and the psionic species, Beta Zeds, Vulcans, Deltans, and so on, they're physically exhausted still anyway. But the people who aren't psionically psionic as a species, they're worn. It's like carrying a weight you're not used to carrying, except and you could carry a little bit for a while. But if you're carrying something unfamiliar for a very long time, that adds up and it wears at you harder than normal.
Last question.
Imagine having like a 5 kilogram weight on your back that you wouldn't normally, on top of whatever else you walk around with. For an hour, that doesn't suck. That just sucks. But for 24 hours, that really sucks.
Or I'm picturing like, you know, when you're with like a baby and like you suddenly have to focus a lot more because, you know, you don't want the baby to get hurt. And like that mental energy, you're expending that all the time. It gets you exhausted quicker. It's like, you know, you now have this whole new facet of your brain that's always going and it's sucking away your energy because you're not used to it.
Okay.
That'd be a good analogy to pull. Yeah.
Like putting too much air in a balloon.
Yeah, I can't think of another question to ask.
Yeah, let's just drag him to the room.
Yeah, we'll drag the commander over there. And then I'll hook him up to like IV fluids and allow him to get a good like sleep. And counselor, oh, okay.
Someone roll for me structure plus command 2 dice and structure plus science the 2 dice.
I've got it. Structure command. And what was the other one?
Science. Structure science. The moment you lay terror stay down, you get reports from the across the science department from various labs that they've had to pull people off duty, and they'd like someone to come down and check on them, make sure it's not anything serious. But the people who are there think it's just exhaustion, but they're alerting med bay to go, hey, someone looks like they look exhausted, but I'm not a medical officer, so I can't diagnose him, but we'd like someone to come down and check. Not an emergency, come down when you can. Or this person's at their quarters, we're setting this person up to med bay, and so on.
Nurse Farouk, could you handle that yourself or delegated?
Yes. Counselor, I would recommend maybe looping in the captain on this. We need to take steps to make sure that people who have been on duty for as long as Lieutenant Commander Terze have been need to just be pulled off the line immediately, I think. And I think
this is when the
sleep
camera
schedules-
dramatically zooms in on Counselor Asa and the dark bags under her eyes as she nods. Go ahead.
And I think that should start right now. I am still doing okay, but I'm gonna say that the nurses out there probably could do with some rest. I'll send one of them to an on-call room. I'll stay up for another 2 hours, and then that nurse can come and replace, or we can come up with a different schedule. Fatigue is going to be an issue. Could I want to make a roll to. I want to put. This is going to sound weird. I want to put numerical stuff in my explanation right now, but I
Mhm.
don't have that as a person. So could I just make some sort of inference about the effects if under this amount of um like crew fatigue, like what the effects are going to be of that, and like the best way to mitigate that.
Insight medicine difficulty 2. The ship can help you with. Oh, I take that back. It could be. Nah, that's reason. That makes more sense to me. Reason plus medicine. Difficulty 2. The ship can assist you with computers plus medicine.
Do you have advanced med bay?
No.
Look,
You guys are lucky. You two are lucky. This is med bay. You have a med bay of 2. You have more than one room.
Yeah.
we added a lot to this ship, so don't expect too much.
That's totally fine. Reason, medicine. This is going to be a weird one. Virology as a focus, only because we're taking into account large, overreaching sort of procedures that you would conduct amongst the entire crew.
I would take it a comp increase. I see what you're doing, but it's not. It's in the ballpark, but not on the diamond. If you see what I mean.
The only other one that I could think of would be, this isn't really emergent yet. I would say internal medicine. That's nice.
No, I'll say.
Nah, then that's fine then. No. I will spend a momentum.
Yep.
Oh, rather a threat. Apologies.
Oh, other way around.
Ship boop beep. And I think we'll let that stand. Yeah.
So as of current report, you would the nurse estimates that based on reports from the fact that you're only getting reports from the science division means that they're the ones who probably have been hit the hardest for various reasons. Roughly when in your character's previous experience, and you double check it with the computer, when you start getting reports on that scale from a department, that means there's starting to become a manpower issue, because they usually don't bother medbay unless it's a big deal or it's happening to either it's emergency or a lot of people are hurt. In this case, what means is that your science, anything to do with the science department, is at an increased complication, because even the people who aren't dead tired are like exhausted. They're still tired. Like they're still they're doing the same fight you are. Mm-hmm. So how frequent this will be, it varies, as in mechanically threat will be spent and then it can happen whenever. It just depends. But the way to mitigate that is for each crew support you sacrifice, that is the medical department sending people, just manpowering down, using less people, making people have shorter shifts. And for each crew support you use, that saves a department from having to do this role again. As for regular crew, like the senior staff, the only way to save them from the role is they would have to step out of the episode. They would have to go to bed and sleep for 8 hours. Like they'd have to go to sleep. Which means the away team's kind of in trouble, because people on the away team won't have that luxury because they're in the middle of it dealing with stuff while they're exhausted. And you also think this is true. You likely, because of what happened to Tercy, this is true on the Wildfire. It's probably not true on the Lovek, because they likely weren't as active as you were for the last 24 hours. They probably had normal ship cycles.
Okay.
More than likely a rest cycle before knowing what they're getting into.
Yeah. So mechanically, what that also means to your character is that each time each of your characters does a check, it's going to be one difficulty harder until it hits 5. At which point, it's just a matter of whittling down max stress. And if you ever get to 0 stress, the person just, whatever they were doing, they stop, they fall unconscious. they'll drop whatever it is, even if it's in a dangerous situation, like the poor doctor.
Okay. And our crew support currently is 5, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
But keep in mind that may affect your away team, because crew support's what supports away teams. If they don't have constant presence. If they have constant presence, they don't count as part of crew support.
Okay.
Which
This is from that roll that I just did. It's obviously going to be science, and so it's science and command personnel who are getting hit the hardest.
No, command seemed to weather. I did a test to see if they were hurting, but they're not. But from that roll, I'll say that they were at risk, but they made the check. That the command division figured it out on their own and were able to kind of stem the tide a little. The science department it got ahead of them, and some people started collapsing before they knew what was wrong.
It's going to be a problem in all departments sooner or later, right?
Yep.
If we don't, okay.
I relayed my sort of findings to the counselor, and counselor, I recommend that we share this with the captain and see what we should do. I mean, my thought is let's supplement the science department at the very least, start out, just to make sure that we can still get out of this place, and we'll plug holes as we need to. Is sort of my thought on it.
I will speak to the captain and formulate a schedule that will keep the crew rested. So long as there's not an immediate and obvious time crunch on us, I do not see a need to work the crew to the bone, because it only increases the rate of errors. And if there's one case you don't want errors to be in, it's the big tin can in the sky. If you could, I would like you to help the science department with their ongoing manpower issues and get them rested. I will go formulate a plan with the captain to prevent this from continuing to happen.
Absolutely, counselor. I will head over there and see what I can do.
As he steps out of the room, Asa will stifle a yawn and then follow him out, because she's just going to talk to the captain directly about this.
And new scene.
Oh God, I'm gonna have to control.
Oh, but before that new scene, you can have that back. Sorry about that. I almost forgot. Varuk and Asa, fitness plus medicine, difficulty 3.
Well, that's not good. Fitness medicine. Oh, that's actually my best stat. Composure.
You're helping science. I'll take it. You're helping the captain.
Threat.
Taking threat eye.
Up. I think a fitness
2
of 11 is
float.
awesome.
Wait, is that right? Yeah, 2 float. I'm right. And now the Counselor Asa.
Could I spend the 2 floating to give myself a simulant?
To wave off the next time I call for it?
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Cool. I would like to do. I don't do that in front of the counselor, because there are things against that I don't think I should be. Anyway.
I trust you in your self-medication for now in this extreme situation. Fitness, medicine, you said diff 3.
Yeah.
Does the veteran trait of 2 wars still lower the difficulty?
It does, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so it's an 11, which isn't my worst stat. Oh, Strong Pa. Could I convince you that tiredness is attempting to coerce me and wear me down, and it is actually in my Bajor nature to fight against that and keep going?
I'll take it.
Okay, so that lowers the difficulty by 1 again, I think. Hold on. Yep. Okay, so difficulty 1. All right, let's go for it. Take a threat.
We're taking a threat eye. Uh-oh.
Oh no. Sure. You know what? Sure. I've been playing up the Aces tired. Sure.
Oh,
This result makes sense to me.
Oh, this is terrible.
No, that's bad. That's really bad. Spend the momentum to quash, please.
But it'd be exciting. Let's see what happens.
Oh, you're gonna die.
You're such a chaos
You're
bringer.
You're going to die.
Okay. No.
I could hear something
I
in the
accept
background.
my fate. I accept my fate.
I don't know why my microphone is suddenly way more sensitive. I'm going to fix this.
I was trying to think of a clever way to weave that in. Like, nah, I don't have nothing.
The sound of the prophets calling to her.
Isa, as you're walking along, you get into the turbolift, and 1 minute you're standing there, and next minute you feel a rather uncomfortable smack on the back of your head, and you wake up and you find that you kind of collapsed in the turbolift, and you backed your head off the turbolift door. A crewman, thankfully, is able to come over and go, "Whoa, you okay, counselor?"
I take 3 stress damage or 4.
3.
Thank you, Ensign. Sorry, crewman. I'm okay. I just the carpeting. I slipped. I'll be fine.
And you kind of, as you're saying that, you find yourself falling toward them, and they kind of catch you as you're, because you moved away from the wall toward them,
Mhm.
and we're reassuring them, and then you find yourself starting to pass out as I had 2 more damage to turn it into a non-lethal injury. You're about to go. You're about to go
Okay.
unconscious. Apparently, you hit your head harder off that wall than you thought.
Mm-hmm.
Like a good old subdural hematoma.
Would you like to
Yeah,
avoid the
yeah.
injury, or are you gonna go out?
Sure. I'll go out. I'll take a nice nap.
Thud. And the counselor gets pulled back to medbay because they're like, someone just collapsed in the turbolift with me. She says she was all right, and then she passed out immediately afterwards. So I don't think that's good. I think she hit her head. Oh,
Quick question. What? Who's in charge of medbay now?
some no-name officer of the ship.
Also, no one's
It'll
telling
be
the
on screen.
captain.
Officer Extra.
Actually, probably be. Oh no, it's. I don't think Seiya's here. I think he went with the mission. Is he here?
I think Seiya went.
Yeah.
No, Seiya didn't win. So Seiya's still here. Yeah. So Seiya's the doctor on deck. I mean, they have the same problem you two do, but we cut over to the ship. New scene. As the away team finds herself in the company of Sog Hegbog, the Klingon who managed to shout the group of you up a ladder into his crawl space before the swarms of rolling sporific mushrooms knocked all of you out. I thought you said you were going to call me before you came over, says the Klingon at the group of you, because he doesn't see. He's looking around for whoever Pend is, because he doesn't know what you look like.
I'll step forward. I say, I'm Commander Chief Frolic, Captain Penn's first officer.
guess the Romulan officer is also there.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not
And
she's a crewman, but yeah,
I'll say,
enlisted.
my apologies. I was under the impression that my captain had contacted you.
No, I detected the beam, but I was confused why you had messaged. And then I heard the squeaking and thought maybe you already beamed in. You're lucky I looked.
Thank you very much.
So what's your plan, Commander?
Now, briefly out of character here. I was gone for the first part of the last episode,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't actually know what the plan was for me to come over here. I just got on and was told to go on this away mission.
Give me Insight Command difficulty 1.
All right.
Oh, correction, difficulty 0 because the stupid
Lights, yeah.
hoplites are here.
Oh, Commander, don't you remember?
Yeah.
One of them just sees that telltale look of, what the hell am I here for again? Oh, here you go, hand you a pad.
Probably doesn't even hand a pad, just like uploads a mission brief to her visor,
Yeah.
so it's less obvious, you know. Got your back.
So, Captain, what were the orders to Throlic and her away team?
The orders were to head across to help secure the Sogh's location, to assess what state the station is in, to try and repair, get some eyes on what's happening. Generally, secure location, fix what you can, and report back.
And alongside, acquire information. They've been here longer than we have. Even if they can't read their sensor logs or comprehend what they're doing, we can.
My team and I are here to, one, secure you and make sure that
And hold there, Throlic. Give me fitness plus... No, sorry, not fitness. I'm wrong. Insight plus... Command, difficulty 2, as you hear whispers as you're trying to talk, and it's distracting. You're trying to... You can choose to listen to the whispers and just forego the roll, or you can try to tune them out and continue talking. Unfortunately, the hoplites can't help you with this because it's in your hit.
yeah.
Woo, psionics.
Now, question.
Mm-hmm.
Could I invoke military family plus common storm to still recite what my orders are while paying attention to the voices?
I'll take that, sure. And as you're telling, you're briefing the SOG about your orders and what your intentions are, you find a voice in your mind, a familiar voice that you've heard before. And then as you let your mind open to the voice and to the familiar presence, you hear the voice of Varder in your head.
Commander Thrala? Probably just like that being said a couple of times, making sure he got through.
Yeah, and you probably can like mentally hear this just like droning in the background of Frolic reciting, and then she goes, "Yes, it's Captain Varder now."
correct. I would say this is a good time to, but it's unfortunately not. This is the most method I can think of to act just, and does have relevance to efforts outside of Starfleet. There's information I could share, but I need to verify if you are in
I'm in what?
a position to be hearing this code of I have to abide by, and I can. But if you are already across a certain,
You're cutting out a little bit there,
am
Aleph,
I?
for me.
Fuck. It does not help that Varder has a slightly. Let me.
Which
Okay.
I will say is perfect
better?
for someone who's not trained in psychic communication. We're just like, wait, what are you saying?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Okay. There is information that I can give you in regards to one of the other organizations that I am related to. But I can only give you this information if you have already crossed a certain line in the sand, so to speak. That being said, I need to bounce some questions off of you to find out if this line has been crossed. I can also wait until such an appropriate time to give these questions as available. Given I am familiar with the particular droning in the background, it's something.
What could you possibly have to help me with anyway? He interrupts your droning rather rudely.
So,
Get quiet
my yeah.
Don't mind me, I'm just a
So
passive
my
player.
team is
Yes.
is very capable of making sense of the sensor readings and strange happenings that have been going on this station. I do not presume to do a warrior's work here, but given that there are precious few warriors here, it seems I must.
Do you even know how to read Klingon E? He looks around, puzzled at everyone.
Teller probably just holds up like a translator.
Oh. Gadgets and widgets. The crutch of Starfleet. And the Romulan Empire, I suppose.
Probably looked vaguely insulted for a second.
Oliver is definitely just like, I was almost eaten, so I think he's just standing there like, kind of disassociating a little bit.
Probably is. He's probably tired.
Yeah. Also, he almost got eaten.
Yeah. He just wants to sleep.
Yeah.
I think Aleph, we never did say how she pronounced her name, is probably just like writing notes. She's just like letting other people do all the hard work. She's just like documenting it for posterity.
I think it's Eliath. Kind of like
Elliot?
Elliot, but Eliath.
Elliot. Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's an imported name from human culture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that. Do you have any further questions? So,
Well, how do you plan to get through a station this big with such a small war party?
simple. My away team is elite.
I have a thought about that actually. The bugs were attracted to us, so there must be something that gains their attention, and it might be possible to mimic such signal on the other end of the station to draw essentially all the creatures away from us and allow us free reign of movement.
Very good, Sub-Lieutenant. See if you can find that lure.
Probably life science readings, I'm not gonna lie.
Some combination of our shielding and armor systems plus a decoy would allow us to operate here without provoking too much of an assault.
Just make sure not
All
to
better.
eat them. They'll make you sick. The Sog says helpfully.
Mm-hmm.
You've tried to eat in some of the bugs. Could you please tell me about that experience?
Mushy,
Uh-huh.
musty,
Mm-hmm.
and bugs. I eat mushrooms. What bugs?
Did you experience any effects from this food?
Oh, yeah. And then he very colorfully explains the various fluids and how he projected such fluids in various areas and the various receptacles he used.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, she is, I don't know. She probably, I guess she wouldn't have to transcribe it. She's probably got like a pad, like recording it, and she's taking her notes as she listens to him. Because this is real. This is the cutting edge of science. It has to be documented.
Yeah. Telora is just going, like, you know, how she had the sensor out and was detecting where these creatures were and was basically doing a full science tricorder scan of everything. Before the bugs started coming to us, and yeah, that. Her intent is to backtrack to before the bugs started moving towards them and see what kind of information was playing out. To basically narrow down what would have potentially caused the bugs to head towards them.
Reason science, difficulty 3.
Yeah. She's just like, well, that conversation's going on.
And also, while Nurse Elias is has the Sog's attention, I'm gonna turn my attention back to Varder in my head.
Who is honestly just running her, or plans to run her through the our ABR questions, and actually being in her mind can be like, show me what you saw, which actually probably helps with, you know, experience of things. Is I can see what you saw and I can make a better judgment than just off questions.
Yeah. So Thralic is cooperating with this because she trusts Varder.
Analysis, science, pulse science. Oh, she's got a hotplate hovering on her shoulder anyway, so I'll just let you help. So dip 2. Then I'll give you a threat, and that's her roll. Then, yeah. Okay, nice. So she made that by 2.
So, according to Talaura's scan, oh, not scans, but reading over the scan log, it would seem that these various life forms had been spread out across the entire station in various pockets. And then almost, well, given the speed that they moved around, what little you saw of them, they moved with far more speed and alacrity than you think they would be capable of from their little pockets to the cargo bay within the span of, say, a minute. It's almost like they teleported or transported to your location. About no more than 5 minutes from the beginning of your scan to the end of it.
Okay.
It would seem your scan drew their attention.
Oh, interesting. Unique. Funny. Well. We've got 2 floats, so I'm trying to think if there's an advantage I can make here.
The advantage that the current analysis isn't drawing their attention?
Yeah, I was just thinking about that as she quickly makes a change to the frequency of the scanner she has to be like, let's not have that be repeated. Does that work, GM?
Well, at current, I imagine you were just looking through your logs. You weren't scanning yet. You were just seeing what your scans.
Let's make sure that won't repeat itself by making that modification.
You could create the advantage to prevent to instruct everyone else to shut off their active scanners on their tricorders.
Okay.
Because that's the problem. It's without further information or scientific method, it's hard to tell what part of the active scan drew their attention.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, so she'll just close off that your threat detection system as well. To the one Hoplite probably about to ask.
No, definitely. It's switch to visual scanners.
But that does also mean simply putting an active scanning device somewhere else on the station should be able to draw many of the creatures away. That is an effective decoy system. Only so far as there's nothing to actually eat over there. Shrug. And then Varder and Thralik.
Yeah.
Insight plus science, difficulty of 5. That's the two of them. Delve deep into occult secrets.
Neither of us are good at this.
No, neither of us are good at this.
You could use medicine if it's better.
It's the same.
Varder's
If
is actually I thought this was a 2. Never mind. It's a 1 apparently.
if I'm done listening to the Sog's
Sog story? Ha ha ha.
You
So-
beat me to it. You beat me to it.
So you're saying it had a soggy texture? If I'm done listening to that, could I help them by if they're are they having this conversation in their heads?
It's in their heads.
Totally isolated.
Oh,
from
okay.
you, yeah, sorry.
And like I'm also literally or I'm using the conversation with Elias and so to mask that I'm having a conversation with somebody else.
Okay. All right. Well, then she has so many more questions about him and his movement.
You're delightful. Part of the ocean.
Yep.
Midnight Special Agent.
Not in this case because you're largely doing this for Thralik's benefit. Thralik's the one that lacks the training, not you.
Yeah, I'm doing it for her benefit to find out if she's a ABR.
I'll take it. Yeah.
Because that is one hell of a job.
Very relevant.
It's also my job. Yeah. This is psionics focus.
Yeah.
You're assisting Thralik. I feel like
I am assisting. That means I give you a reroll with advisor.
Lovely, delightful. So it's a diff 3 at the moment. The value of more can always be learned, or information is but another weapon.
Information is but another weapon.
Yeah, because I don't feel like I feel it in my bones. It's not my bones I'm feeling them in, it's Thralix.
I don't feel my bones. That's weird.
Because that would be weird in this scenario. That's where we're drawing the line.
You 2 momentum just like to make sure, like definitely trying to be safe. I don't know why I asked for a focus. I don't have a. Doesn't matter. Nailed it anyway. Let's go.
Yeah, technically you could re-roll one of those dice if you wanted to, but there we go.
I made the 2 momentum that I spent.
That didn't roll for some reason. All right, then
We've got a float.
I assist, and also you get an additional float from my success there.
It would seem that Thralik would be defined as a Starfleet trained Anar traditioned ABR. Because there are people there are various species who have psionic powers that have various training abilities. So they're not an untrained. You'd consider them having an MP or 2 off the top of your head. So this is an experienced ABR, which that's not weird in this time period because it's the sciences are rather widespread with the Midnight Watch's help.
Right. Well,
Notably, Thralic never talked about being Aenar at any point when the two of us served together, I think.
No, never.
To put it in terms in the Midnight Watch would understand, they know the fire's there, but they haven't opened the door. It's like feeling heat on the other side of the door and knowing, and then positing, oh, there's fire over there, without ever opening the door.
Okay. What do my tenants reflect in this regard?
You maintain what secrets are necessary, third tenant. And fourth tenant, don't delegate if you don't have to.
Yeah, okay. So they haven't opened the door yet, but
they aren't a walking threat. Mind you, people who are Sonic are a little closer to that door than your average person.
Yep.
Because they're that much more aware, and the fire is aware of them.
Actually, to that end, then, those two to make an advantage that Thralic has an idea of what she should do if that door is ever opened. Like not outright saying it, but like being able to through the course of this.
For two threat, you can kind of hint. You give vague hints that Thralic should be able to get from what you understand.
Yeah.
Like you're playing into her training to let her know, if you feel this stimulus, do this.
Yeah. Which is essentially, if the door is open, run through it. The other two options are bad.
Just want to say, isn't that also questionable?
No.
I mean, there are other options than running through the door.
Closing it and being a almost vegetative person.
Yeah, but
or embracing midnight. So, no.
No, I'm not saying, because I've done Midnight Watch with you. I'm just pointing out, telling or even pushing someone towards running through a door is then still forcing them down a path.
It's this is more saying, if the situation happens, here's a correct response. It's like a warning. I know I'm playing a fine line. Get off my ass.
No, I'm not saying to go either way. I'm just asking that's still in fact edging, like pushing someone towards a path.
Yes.
It's skirting the tenants. It's getting there.
Yeah.
It's skirting the tenants, but it's like this is one of the most likely people to encounter that in this situation here, and also
like in a perfect world, you pull them to you'd invite them to a branch office and teach them properly, but you don't have a branch office at hand. Well,
but right now they're staring at a full-on midnight entity here. So,
But
you
like I
haven't
said,
crossed the line yet.
Oh yeah, but like I said, I remember the tenants. It's got really close to it then.
Oh yeah.
I was trying to very much skirt around it, like not say, oh yeah, this is exactly the situation you run into. This is what you need to do. It's like, here is, if you run into this sort of thing or blah blah blah, bouncing off of her own current experiences. The float would be to establish that advantage if that's possible.
Boop. Strike those.
Which is, you'll thank me later if it ever happens.
All right.
So Thralic, if I call for that choice, you don't roll for it. You just simply choose.
Okay.
You haven't crossed the line yet, so I cannot tell you. What I can say is verify everything. Do not believe everything at a first glance here. Make sure that any information that you contact or you acquire is correct.
And at that moment, Varder, something on your ship has drawn your attention. Something the situation where you are has devolved.
Lovely.
So you may continue, but if you continue, that will eat into your character being aware of their surroundings back on the ship when I cut back to them.
Just like, probably looks away from her for a second, just everything is not as it seems, and then back off. Like the very, something's distracting. Everything's not as it seems. Ominous warning and leave.
Like, well, shit. Okay.
And that's when it turned yellow. At that point, I just gave up. Doesn't matter if you fry them. I just don't know. So they're just poison. I think they'd probably kill all of you, though. Especially you, points at Telora.
Good thing I'm not in the habit of sticking random assorted funguses into my mouth.
Technically, it's not a fungus. It's a fungiform.
That's
Fungi
true,
are only
like
found on the
most
planet Earth. It is a fungus-like organism evolved through convergent evolution.
Nurse Elias, the full analysis can wait until we've returned to the Achilles.
Understood.
It's always time for proper taxonomical descriptors.
Yeah, now let's get into the debate about how many subspecies there are.
Can I
Orders,
see
Commander,
audio?
says one of the one of the hoplites. And they gesture at the door that they're guarding.
Yeah. Maintain passive scan observation according to Telora's observations. And we make our way towards where we can find proper computer access.
Well, there's the primary computer core. You can access that. The manual drives there. Avoid the hallways, though. There's usually something there. Though the crawl spaces mean it's hard to move or flee, as the case may arise. So, pick your poison. Or you could try to use my well, if you're trying to do something fancy and actually repair the computer system or something, or do something with it, then you need to go there. But he points to a console, or you can just use that. I basically have an override to most of the station that I can get to.
Laura, then take a look, see what you can interpret.
Very well, Commander.
Ven and Aura, you see a jumble of wires, cables. Some of them are very much glowing with the green light of plasma. This is when you do an override at a bridge station, you usually override like one thing, and most LCAR systems are designed for that. They're designed to override one or two to let you do one or the other at any given time. He has 6 departments worth of overrides, plus their subsystems, all tied into this one mangled Franken computer. Yeah, this is very unsafe. And on the plus side, you can access pretty much everything on the thing is, stations aren't supposed to be run off of one console. Most stations are run off each station has 3 consoles and that's in operations. Never mind the rest of the station.
Ven just looks to Talor and says, Arlen would be impressed.
Anything you do will be comp 5.
Oh, Jesus.
But you can do computer tests on the station. Sorry, go on, Ryloff. I cut through you.
I would normally call EOD if I was looking at this. I kind of want to anyway.
I mean, we have ordnance here.
That.
That's
right, we could use
Kino.
this and risk any number of potential overloads in a system that seems to be held together by the belief that it will work. I probably shouldn't say that, given how belief currently affects our situation.
No, it's held together with paste and engine grease.
Do I dare ask what kind of paste?
One of the hoplites just kind of says, "Could you not ask him that, please?"
Yeah, I was just like, the silence means no. Just like...
So the Sog looks like puzzled why everyone's so icky. He just shrugs and decides not to say anything.
Right.
Mutters something about spoiled meat and blood wine, and then someone just kind of smacks him in the arm. And he stares at them, and he gives him a what? What are you gonna do? It's like, oh, okay, fine.
Just a question. Her exotic energy source technology isn't like kicking off anything here, is it? Just like as a flavor thing.
Thankfully not.
Okay. I was like, it's probably exotic use of current technology rather than new energy source.
Combination of jury rigging and tinkering.
Okay. What is your specialty, Sog?
EPS systems. Isn't S for systems? Nothing, never mind.
Huh.
That is a common etymological occurrence in which the last letter of an acronym is repeated. It's and Aelith will continue.
The automatic teller machine.
Well, Ensign, this is your choice if we use this system or not.
I can give it a go. What do you need me to do?
Make the judgment call on whether we use this system or attempt to get to the main computer to use that one without the jury rigging. You are the officer. You're not familiar.
How far
with
away is
Romulan
the main
ranks,
computer system?
It is about 4 decks. Oh, I take that back. It's on the other side of the ring of the station. It's on the same deck as you are, but it's like on the opposite end of your giant deck.
And Ven looks over to Sog and says, and I assume that is through a whole metric load of fungiforms.
And other things.
Other things?
I'll be right back.
Well, as for the fungiforms, we have a means of distracting them. The other things, who knows?
Out of character, has anyone just thought about thinking them gone?
Yes. I have. Talora, as someone who is stubbornly against psionics, is refusing to really. She's like, it exists. I'm not thinking about it.
Commander, do you have any suggestions?
I suppose.
I believe we should try to move to the computer core.
An alternative would be to work on these systems
I'm
here
back.
and attempt to amend the jury rigging done, but that is likely to take a lot of time.
Nicely.
And when we get to the computer core?
When we get to the computer core, we see what we can salvage directly.
So, what other kinds of creatures are you talking about? Are these your kind of creatures? By that I mean Klingon, or are these something new that you've not encountered before?
All kinds of things. Snakes, mushrooms, warriors that should be dead that aren't, cables that move. Never mind all the plasma fires and unstable structural integrity areas. Certain rooms exposed to vacuum.
Well, some of those definitely come across in the vein of the shadows that come with being alone. I don't mean that as an insult, but seeing something that's not there, or thinking something that isn't there, but especially in this place where apparently thinking matters.
Maybe, but I shoot it or stab it all the same.
Yes, and I suppose that works.
That's why I'm alive. We'll see how long you last.
quite a
Hopefully
long
not.
time, I imagine. So I can't do active scans to detect things in other rooms. I'm assuming that the systems on this station have a means at a door panel, for example, to determine whether the room on the other side of the door is exposed to vacuum or not. Or is that
Usually, when there isn't a malfunction in the door mechanism.
charming?
My tip, if it's too quiet, it's too quiet. Hmm?
Not actually an unwise thing. Good job.
And the Sog looks like he's going to do something, and then he just kind of sighs and just waves it off. Like he's too tired to even answer the challenge.
Mhm.
Yeah, he probably takes a reputation ding, and the Sog does not care at the moment.
Talora would probably gain reputation from that. It's called
Yeah.
being a smartass.
No, it's called discrediting the enemies of the Empire.
Yes. Discrediting is probably actually a reputation gain for
Yeah.
Romulans. That's why they have like a
Right.
trait or a thing where they tend not to say something unless they're rather certain of its truth.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Now-
with that,
Oh, okay.
the scene comes to an end as more pondering and questioning continues. Fitness plus con, difficulty 3 for all the characters in that room. For the hot plates, give me structure plus security
That's
from
a
the ship.
that's a lot of cruise support we're about to spend.
Yeah, does this count for cruise support if they're just
Oh, sorry, 2.
supporting it?
Does it count for the ones that haven't rolled yet?
Since this is like a situational thing that they're being forced into.
The people who would have to roll would be Talora, Ven, and Throlloc because their character.
Yep.
Ven and Throlloc because their mains. Talora has rolled.
And Talora is constant presence, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Top of the class go-getter, psionically hardened.
I'll shave off 2 of it.
Cool. I will take 1 momentum. Fitness con, you said?
Yep.
Ugh, that's even worse. Oh no, that's the same as my command score.
Oh, the hoplites crushed it.
I
won
generate that momentum back.
All right. I'll say trait of relentless.
Yep.
Right. Calm in the storm.
I wouldn't take it at this point.
Hoplite commander.
Yes.
And a focus in athletics.
Yep.
I'm sorry if this was asked before. Do supporting characters have to make the roll?
The ones
Nope.
that have rolled. So Talora.
Only if the character rolled. So
Yep.
the nurse is safe for
Okay.
Talora, I'm giving or spending a momentum for the reading because she's clearly done the reading on the effects of fatigue and how to avoid them or to off-put them rather than avoid them.
now.
Which means I can use science.
Fair point.
Love that talent.
Spending
It's
threat
great.
to increase difficulty and complication.
Not yet.
For a support character, that would be rude as fuck.
Yeah, I nearly killed Oliver last time.
Okay. That said, she does not have. Being in the Star Navy does unfortunately not help with fatigue.
What's saving it is that Varuk isn't playing Talora right now, so.
Yeah. Or Efrix.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Efrix. It's like the character has everything going for them. How did you get 3 complications? And that's on the reroll. Diff 3, you said?
Yeah. I think I felt Farouk flipping off the screen just now.
Yeah, I know. I might have to. I might have to spend 3.
3 what?
Momentum. I don't want to give you more threat. And I don't think any of her focuses apply. She does not have any robotic limbs to mess around with to make the take the extra strain.
We can always change that, you know.
Eventually. Analysis of the effects in regards to the scientific process that she's already undergoing.
No.
Tragic. Naval protocols they probably have something for it. It's probably go to sleep at the soonest convenience.
Go to sleep or get stimmed.
Yeah. I forgot to take off focuses, so those probably are not. No, those are not. Those are both 2s. So that's 3 successes, though.
Did you reduce?
And they hit it on the head.
Oh, okay. Just make sure.
Yeah.
And new scene as we cut to the bridge
Damn, imagine if I had a focus there. Wow.
of the Achilles.
So how much coffee am I legally allowed to have before the replicator will say no?
You're an idiot. Do you know how you can override that?
450
know,
milligrams.
Yeah, I want to know how much I need to get before I have to start overriding.
An amount. It depends on, because your Boolean physiology is probably different from human biology, but still.
And
There's a point
also,
where medical would get alerted.
Yeah, and also ADHD reacts oddly to caffeine, but that's a whole different story.
Reacts oddly to any stimulant.
The report
Yeah,
from
there's a weird bell curve with it, but
the report from Ensign Rymek, by the way, indicates that there has been some movement in your local area, for lack of a better way to put it. It would seem that the wildfire has embedded itself into the icy iceberg on the opposite side of this expanse, and the Lovek has warped its way over to them. The away team seems to be a lot closer to the Klingon. And there was a surge of life forms that were in the cargo bay with them, but they have since dispersed.
Okay.
Also, you are alerted to the command department alerts penned, at least, that they've made some people take early shifts off and they're trying to swap out some people to get people to wake up a little earlier. Better to have someone who hasn't had a ton of sleep to someone with no sleep. So they've managed, but it's not going to be a permanent solution. They're running through their staff pretty hard, but they're managing for now. Meanwhile, science department has seen the arrival of Nurse Farouk, who is trying to assist them. Even from the bridge, as you're told that, you can see some of your sensor operators kind of yawning into their hands or trying to, some of them with like a coffee right there, and they're like one hand is scanning, the other hand is drinking.
Yeah, so it's clear to see general fatigue is setting over the crew.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we can't go anywhere because I can't abandon an away team. I can't assist a wildfire because away team. We can continue scanning, but we're not really picking anything new up.
Is there anything the bridge staff would like to try to do?
do we have to make a roll for each department to get them to take sleep cycles?
As of current, no one's beat the bridge on the problem. Penn happens to know that science is tired and that his own command staff is tired, but no one else has reported issues yet.
Yeah,
You all
Right.
feel tired.
it's as
Don't
if
worry.
the
When Asa wakes up, she'll handle it.
it's as if the person
I'm-
who was coming to tell Penn that went unconscious.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You shot the messenger.
Oh,
I shot the messenger.
I think I'm gonna justify this in saying that if I'm feeling tired, other people are probably tired as well, and we're not doing anything that requires all the engineers airs on deck. So, I'm going to take the initiative and at least tell some of my engineers to take quick naps.
Well, funny you say that. Oop. Time to see who's having a bad time. Boop. Boop, boop. Structure plus command, structure plus security. Difficulty 3 on 2 dice.
Okay, command and security.
Around the time, Arlen, you're talking to your people, you're talking to your counterpart in main engineering, who you can swap and so on. And it is around then when both Ryloff and Penn start getting reports that it's starting to get it actually is a lot worse than they thought. It seems that your command department they've had to relieve quite a few people from command, a lot more than they were hoping. They tried to do what they could, but it seems it's gotten a little worse. Anything to do with the ship's command score is at increased complication. Security, on the other hand, is really hurt. To the effect that they are effectively anything to do with the security department is at increased difficulty and increased complication, as all the people who would be able to weather this storm are hoplites. All the non-hoplite staff are struggling like crazy, and the hoplites are doing what they can to help them. That's kind of that. In turn, that's actually hurting the hoplites in the same breath, because they have to use some of the hoplite crew to kind of help the regular security staff. Even Sarai seems to be kind of taking deep breaths and trying to stay focused on the task in front of her. But I will say, Arlen, on the plus side, the nap strategy seems to work. A few people take extra naps, but it seems to be okay for now. Whether it'll stay that way, you're not sure. You're not a doctor, after all.
Apart from trying to rally the crew and tell people to do like combat naps, there's nothing really Penn can do at the moment.
I mean, that's a system that probably security is like, yeah, that's a great idea in theory, except for the fact that our job kind of demands constant alertness when you're on shift.
Yeah.
Which is probably why there's a detrimental thing there. That makes sense narratively.
I mean, Alex, I also joked at the beginning of the session where I'll just reach out and pick a fight with the being, but that's not going to happen.
Well, it's a funny thing you should say that, Pend. We cut to somewhere. Well, we're cutting to the same thing. You're seeing this on the bridge. Boop. Boop.
Yeah, the camera got really fancy with this one, where like it zooms in on Pend and then spins around to show what we're seeing, then zooms back out.
Oh, Varder's not having fun if he's all the way up there. What the hell?
Yeah, he's collecting the wildfire with the improved tractor beam.
Oh, I thought it crashed into this.
No,
Okay, never
that
mind.
that's just glowing light in the ocean.
Oh, hey, I'm just looking
Oh.
at the map.
So-
I'm just zoomed down at the bottom of the map now. I've used that station before.
Wait, the Lovec is in the wildfire's tractor beam?
No, oh yeah, no, it should be, yeah.
Yeah, that's what they're
Oh.
trying to do, but it's not going
Okay.
terribly well. But we'll deal with that later. At the moment, the Achilles notes that large growths are appearing out of the Klingon station. Tendrils breaking out from the deck plates and reaching farther and farther out, and they seem to be reaching closer and closer to the Achilles. As it seems
Oh
the
my
station
God.
itself is swimming itself closer.
Giant space
Fun.
mushroom! Giant space mushroom!
Captain Pend, you are essentially in ship combat now.
Sure.
The deck takes a very bright teal color, and it seems to, all the jagged edges seem to smooth, or not so much smooth as in blunted, but rounded a bit, like they're less dagger-like and more like a chakram or a curved blade. You're the first to move because it basically alerted itself to you. So
So the deck of our ship is getting blunted, or
no, this is the big space station
okay.
because it looks all jagged. It normally would look all jagged. Well, most Klingon stations look rather jagged because it looks intimidating and scary. This is looking, it's curving a bit and creating these long, slender cut looks to them, more ring-like than anything.
The mushroom's about to shed its metal layer.
Horrifying.
Do we want to fire? Do you bounce a graviton particle beam off at it?
Heck are gravitons gonna do?
Oh, it doesn't have to be a graviton. It could be. All right, what's my technobabble here? We can create a empathetic electrical surge within the cellular structure of the mushroom that will disrupt its replication.
We don't necessarily.
Yeah, we don't know anything about mushroom.
Okay.
Can I think about separating tentacle monster from station?
You could.
Sure. I'll attempt to separate tentacle monster from station.
That's going to be your action, obviously. Presence plus command. Difficulty opposed.
No fucking shit.
It's almost like it doesn't want to not be able to eat you.
It wants its hermit shell. It's just a giant hermit crab.
I assume you're going to be buying a full mitt because we're going to be competing.
I don't know yet.
Interesting.
That is the honest answer to that question.
I shall be.
I'm going to throw out tried and tested because this is not because I've dragged out tentacle monsters from stations before, but it's not the first time I've had to mess around with psionic beings.
That's true. Yeah.
Tiger of Narendra?
Yeah, Narendra has some weird crap out here, doesn't it? Plus, you're a very imposing figure. Lots of people would respect or fear that.
Commanding presence.
Oh, unfortunately, yes.
Oh, unfortunately, fantastic. Hoplite? Probably not.
I don't think so, no.
How about Eldritch Punter?
Yeah.
That's still the dumbest fucking trait.
Hey, you could have said no to it. You didn't have to take it.
No,
You
look,
wrote it
see?
down.
I know I wrote it down, but it's still fucking dumb. Would you say this is a social interaction or conflict?
I wouldn't say so, no. You're not trying to convince it. You're using your force of will to hurt it or to rip it apart, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's
It's
fine.
more of a combative action.
Yes. So I was just seeing if it kicked in, but I highly doubted it.
Yeah, it's worth asking. I have to think about it for a second. It's like, technically no, given what you're doing.
Focus in mental prowess.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna attempt Directive 3. I'm finding out what this threat is to the Klingons and Federation people aboard that station by removing
Okay.
it.
I mean, yeah, you could. Yeah, that falls under the third directive that you're on.
Like, I know I'm stretching so far I'm gonna pull a muscle, but
I mean, you're not the one that's going to pull a muscle, hopefully.
and I'll roll 5 challenge dice. You get 3. I think that's everything, unless I want to double my crit range. Sure, I'll spend a mill to double my crit range to 10. I do have a reroll from Bold. But I'd like to spend a milestone. I've got 1 in the bank for ESP shit.
Okay.
So I'll reroll the 2 with the milestone. So I'm at 6, 8, and I have a Bold reroll in reserve. There we go.
So what's your total currently?
I've got 8 currently.
8. Okay, and you also get +1 more because you are the captain of the U.S.S. Achilles.
Oh, I've also got the 3 from trait, so if that's 9, I'm at 12.
12. My mistake.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, 12 successes?
And a reroll, still.
Ensign Ven, as you're working, you feel an incredible force grab you from your midriff and yank you into the ceiling. Everyone watches Ven suddenly start rocketing toward the ceiling. The panels of the station peel away and he starts rocketing away.
Yeah.
Then you have an opposed roll. The difficulty apparently is 12.
Oh God.
What's the roll?
Presence command.
Stupid. Psionically hardened.
Yeah, I'll give you a hit. You can feel and I will tell you, you feel the overwhelming presence of Pend. Tiger Narendra, Eldritch Punter.
I'm still gonna roll 2, just as like a, like instinct.
Okay.
You feel yourself being pulled away. I don't care who it feels like. It's feels freaking weird, and there's gonna be an instinctual like, no, please do not.
Oh, I will point out to you that you notice that as the way you're going out, you see the decks opening up, and you see part of the force field starting to give way, the air rushing out of the station. Looks like you're going out into the emptiness of space. Just to give you some idea of what's going on.
I'll buy a 3rd die.
With
Momentum. Oh no. I'm about to shoot myself in the foot really hard here.
Oh, good. What are you doing?
I have a trauma. Trauma 4, superior officers.
Difficulty goes up by that amount. Complication goes up by that amount.
Difficulty 16.
I don't think you can make that roll.
What?
What is he doing?
Pen's plucking out the thing that's making this thing have tentacles.
So
Oh.
So my complication range goes up by 4?
Yeah.
Ven's the fucking problem again? Evil bastard.
Ven is there. Ven isn't there. And then as he rockets away, the panels start closing up behind him. Pen, you feel like next to no resistance. Like, you're used to having to do this eldritch crap. Like, you have to think really hard. You have to center your mind, use the secret equation of the Vulcan. What's it? Like, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, you have to really try. This felt like putting one foot in front of the other. Like, it's way easier than you're used to. Not that you do this a ton, but, you have experience. And sensors detect that one of the away team is now outside of it. He immediately passes out because he's
in an EVA suit.
No, he's in a suit.
Oh, damn! I forgot you had the damn suit on. Fine.
It's a suit.
He falls in the water, and he floats because he's a thinking thing. The station just kind of drifts there, dead in space. Well, in the water, and then there's a brief moment of I gotta swim, and then wait, if you don't move, Bob, you just kind of float there.
Throw it to Achilles.
Oh, what the fuck?
This is Achilles.
Where did he go? Oliver's freaking out.
I just lost one of my team members to an unknown transport. It didn't appear to be Starfleet in nature.
Oh. Oh, trust me, it was Starfleet.
Is the ensign back on the Achilles, sir?
No, he's currently floating outside.
May I ask why?
The station was growing tentacles. I pulled it out of the station and then flew out the station.
Yes, sir. I'm sure it'll all make sense in the debrief.
Sure. Yeah, I'll bring him back aboard.
Very good.
Trylos is gonna look at Ben and be like, "Is it a good idea to bring him aboard, Captain? I know it's Ensign Ven, but if he is what is causing the station to appear to change forms,
Oh,
kind of leaves it at that."
I'd rather him on here than on a station that's already up Shit's Creek. So,
Do we need to sedate him?
we may have to. Rylov, head down to the transporter bay and get Katal to beam him on board. make an assessment with medical personnel, then deal with it.
Yes, Captain.
And as this scene comes to a close, fitness plus security, difficulty of 3 for Rylov, Pend, and Arlen. Oh, and
Ven.
let's not forget Ven.
I was hoping you'd forgotten about that.
Oh, Ven, it's 4 for you.
God damn it!
Wait, why is it security for us, but for the other people it's...
Go-getter and psionically hardened.
Yep.
It's been a different department each time.
Okay.
Fitness. Security. Take a threat. Nope, that's not good enough.
I like how I'm going to get a ding from this.
Ven, your max stress has gone down by 1. You have 1 fatigue.
Yay. Yeah.
Survivor
Yep.
and survival.
Yep.
I'm still paranoid, though I feel like that's not yet. I don't know if paranoia comes into fatigue at all, actually. Not really. And as div 3, I'll give you a threat.
I'll roll it. I'll just give you a threat.
Certainly.
Focusing either mental prowess or composure.
Composure, given the situation.
I'll reroll. Gain 2 and not lose 2 for Alan. Oh, yeah, 2 for Alan.
Alright. Limit pusher. Or
Yup.
trait. Reckless trait.
Comp increase.
Of course.
Maybe you're taking too much coffee. Wait, that is caffeine, right? Oh god, I've been drinking adrenaline. I don't know.
Put an adrenaline shot in your coffee.
I can hear my heartbeat.
No, it's whatever that no, not triox. The I forget the name of the compound.
Cocaine.
Maybe.
That also interacts with ADHD.
Speaking from
Right.
experience there, Frolic.
No.
Alright, I don't think I have any sort of focus.
Chlortrazine.
Yeah, can I negotiate with this?
No.
Alright. 1 threat, 2 momentum.
Okay.
That one.
And the 3 of you are able to push on through your shift. News scene. It's around this time, Varuk, you just get back to medical just in time for them to tell you that they're looking to send someone down to the transporter room to deal with one of the away team being back from apparently the water or the outer space area.
Oh, well, that's lovely. All right. Well, can you let the counselor know that I'm going to head down there? After she's just in her office.
And it's at that point, Asa wakes up on a biobed.
Man, I haven't had a sleep this good since we cleared the Cardis out of Alpha Checkpoint. She's gonna sit up and stretch. How tired does she feel?
Still pretty tired. It's almost like it's that irritating feeling of you put your head down to sleep and then it feels like you immediately woke up in the morning. Feels like you got no sleep at all, but you know you slept.
Yeah, there's like a little tiny fear in the back of her head that maybe she jumped forward in time because that would be a thing that would happen on the Achilles. But she's going to try to put that away. Besides, the Enterprise already did that idea. Yeah, no, I don't know, I'll get dressed and you know what? Is there a sink in this room?
There can be, yeah.
Sure. Can I don't know if there's a Star Trek word for sink. Can I use the sink to put water on my face to try to like wake me up?
Certainly. As you splash yourself in the face, it feels like you just splash yourself with ice water. It is intensely cold.
Ah. Okay then. In that case, well, I'm just going to zip up my uniform and step out into the room.
What do you that the counselor collapsed? What do you talk? Oh my gosh.
See, I told you, she's fine. She just got exhausted, is all. Like most of us here.
All right. I'm gonna go down and see what they did with Zen. By the time I get back, nurse, you're gonna be sleeping. Cool.
Okay, I'll make sure to have a replacement.
Nope, I'm your replacement.
You're gonna. Okay, nurse.
Thank you.
Hello, counselor.
Good afternoon, or whatever time it is.
Yeah, I
And
lost
yeah,
track
she's
of the
just
time too.
you know, once you're up past like the 20-hour marker, who cares anymore? Yeah, and she's just gonna like walk over and like rest an elbow on the counter and then her head on her elbow. Oh no, and then she'll like her eyes will go wide. I was supposed to tell the cat. Excuse me, I have to go. And she's going to open the door and try to get out.
I'm gonna just head down to the transporter, babe. Well, actually, no. I'm gonna follow the counselor this time.
Okay.
And send the nurse.
I will be fine, Varuk. I've dealt with longer periods of sleepless nights. I slept on I slept on beds of rocks for years. I will be fine. Please handle whatever crisis is happening in the transporter lab.
Yeah, I don't know about that, counselor. How about we just go up and see the captain together?
If you insist.
I do.
And the GM helpfully points out that could have been an order, but thankfully it wasn't, so no thing occurs.
Yay!
So you're both in the turbo lift, and you can feel that heaviness in your muscles from that fatigue just weighing at you.
Well, so you got back. Who carried you back to the sick bay, counselor?
Good question. I think I passed out in the he was a crewman or an ensign. I don't know, a strapping young lad. she's gonna scrunch up her face and try to think if she can remember their name. Focus in empathy. If I'm
I'll give you that.
I was okay, because I'm thinking like, well, if you're more empathetic, you're more likely to know the names of junior officers. You have 38 threat, so I'll just roll flat and hope I get lucky because this is a 15.
Well, you remember it was easy to mistake that they were crewmen, and thinking back on it, they weren't wearing a Starfleet uniform. They were seemed to be in a civilian garment with a pad in their hand. They looked human. You don't recognize them, though, when you think on it.
Oh no, they were wearing civilian garb. You know, those new geometric cut shirts the young kids are into wearing these days.
Yeah.
You
Yep,
know,
that's definitely my demographic. Yep.
you know where they've got the stripes and the cuts.
Fashion stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was him.
Did you get a name, counselor?
What
No?
does it matter?
Well, it's a very long turbo lift, so I'm just trying to make conversation.
How are you
Very
doing,
long turbo lift because it's a very long road.
You know, I from my memory of studying Cation anatomy, you require more sleep than your average humanoid. How are you holding up?
That's a good question, GM. How am I holding up?
It's a good question. Head nurse, why don't we determine that now? Fitness plus con difficulty of, you were at 3 last. I believe you're both at 4 now.
You're having us do a scene, so my producer brain is thinking that we're missing something that we're supposed to be doing right now. Okay. Well, anyway. Fitness. Fitness con. Boo. Will my prehensile tail talent help with this?
If you fail, I will not have you slam your head against the door.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
It'll be the floor instead.
Yeah.
No.
Didn't
really
Farouk have the
need
advantage of avoiding the next one?
We
You're
really
right.
need to do a safety check on these turbo lifts. This is getting insane.
Farouk does not roll because you're so riding a stim right now. It's wearing off, but
Oh, yes. Literally anything that Jake Sisko wears.
Yeah.
So it's just Asa.
Oh, I'm rolling.
Oh yeah.
So
I
asked Farouk, how are you doing? And the way that turns around is now I'm going to be more tired.
It's
Okay.
like, show me what your yawn looks like, and then all of a sudden you're made to yawn like, oh, stop that. Yeah. I wasn't tired till I said something.
You just collapse.
So the Strompa and Veteran of Two Wars things both still trigger, right?
Y'all.
Awesome. Oh yeah, none of my other stuff is going to trigger. Oh no. These are my 2 worst stats.
I kind of had a feeling.
Fitness 7 because she's old, and con 1 because she doesn't understand what a spaceship is.
Plus, doesn't have to run around that much anymore.
Crush it, Asa. Go.
Okay.
Hulk smash.
Oh God. Could I activate the trait people person? I am making conversation with Varuk about his difficulties. Could I say that doing that allows me to focus on him and not my own tiredness, letting me stay awake?
This time, yes, just because you're in mid-conversation. So you have something to focus on.
Well, you're a sweetheart.
With that door open, could I assist?
You could on that logic, especially since you're not the one. You're so riding at stem, so you're like, no,
Yeah.
wait, stay awake, counselor.
No. Yeah.
I'll talk about whatever you want really quickly. All right, GM, take a threat. Let's
Certainly.
go. I was going to try to argue for a focus, but it doesn't matter. It's a 1.
Oh well,
Oh no.
can't assist anyway.
Okay.
Oh no. Please don't pass out into my arms.
Don't
I
worry,
don't
this
think-
is just a fatigue loss.
I don't think any of my values apply here to like staying awake. I don't think so. All right, I'll accept the failure.
You gain 1 fatigue. Your max stress has gone down by 1. The minute you ask for Rook and you're just kind of talking to him, you're trying really hard to hide the yawn, but wow, that just came up on you. Ooh, you
Yeah.
kind of have to blink it off, but you're still awake.
Yeah, so anyway, it's going pretty okay. Trying to figure out this psionic issue, you know how that goes.
Oh, really? Yeah.
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 Counselor, do you want to stim? All the kids are trying it.
Oh, well,
That is not the way to sell.
if you're gonna peer pressure me and she's going to open her hand and gesture, you know,
So are you re-stimming yourselves? Or re-stimming
Sure.
Rook and stimming
Yeah.
Asa? Well, unfortunately, you're not in medbay at the moment, so you owe me 2 threat.
fatigue 1, right?
Hmm?
I have fatigue 1, right?
Yes.
Okay, and that just raises my stress. It lowers my stress cap by 1. That's all it does.
Yep.
Okay.
And it doesn't. And it's one of the few ways you don't heal it until you actually rest in a safe environment, usually. But
Yep, I'll give 2 threat to dose.
you both avoid the next roll.
Cool.
Oh, whoop! I almost forgot about somebody.
Oh,
Oh, hi.
Captain, you notice the reason people were alerted, they got the tractor beam on the Lovek just fine. Wildfire, sorry. Got backwards in my head. They have it on the wildfire, and when they try to pull at it, they're noticing sections of the hull are peeling away. They think they could force it, and it's just the outer hull, so it's not good it'll cause a breach on the structure. But they can pull it out. They just have to force it. But they're kind of worried about doing that because, well, they are causing a breach on the other ship, and there is no response from the ship. They aren't saying anything.
I'm going to give you a threat.
Certainly. For what?
Well informed.
Ask your questions, friend.
First off, is this response to the tractor beam standard, or is this an irregular thing that has not been experienced before?
In rare cases, it happens. It almost never happens, but there are edge cases where this happens, where something is that stuck. High power tractor beam. If you didn't have a high power tractor beam, you would just try and nothing would happen. High power gives you that little extra edge of like we can just yank it.
The second one would be then is the ship as stuck as this tractor beam would, or this problem would suggest? Because we know we're dealing with disinformation, so we're trying to, make sure that everything does correlate and confirm that. Because otherwise, if it's the belief that the trajectory beam can't do it because it's stuck and it's not actually stuck, then we know there's a problem.
Not everything, when it comes to disinformation, not everything is as it seems, is the answer to that. So whether it is or not, probably not in what exact way, you're not sure at the moment. But you do know that what you're seeing isn't what you're getting. Something else is causing this phenomena.
And we can't contact the ship through regular means.
Yeah, they've tried to hail them, but they haven't said anything back.
We are aware they're captains of Vulcan, correct?
Yep.
Hi.
She wasn't. She's not trained in any way that I'm aware of. Then again,
Not to the extent that she has a psychic trait or talent.
Yeah. However,
so she has like high school psionic training. But that's it.
Yeah, no more than I can play the cello because I took a couple classes in middle school.
However, given the location that we are in, seemingly altering that fact, and she's a Vulcan, so she's the least likely person to outright panic about it, and she's aware of my presence, we're going to try and contact her psychically. Actually, that's also something that falls under the telepathic trait anyway. Varder can do that.
Yep.
There's just extra reason it would potentially work.
Give me insight plus medicine, difficulty of 1, given that you are a Midnight Watch special agent.
Insight.
You have special training to recognize what's happening when you're telepathically touching somebody. Phrasing, anyway.
Yeah. Psionics focus.
Yep.
Not that it matters. Medicine is 1. Oh, that's what I didn't do before. Let me just do that now. There we go.
Oh.
I was like, wait, I shouldn't have that. I spent that. Oh, I never rolled for it. Oh, I have it. What was the difficulty again? Sorry.
A 1 currently.
1. Okay. Part of the ocean trait? Given it's not required here to allow.
I'll say no. That wouldn't give you further insight into what you're seeing or sensing.
Oh, not even the fact that I can talk to myself?
You're reflecting on their condition, not yours. You're fine. Nothing's wrong on your end.
Oh, yeah. It's just more, I can talk to myself to be like, is this what I think it is? Well, are we thinking the same thing? Oh. But if you say no, you say no. You know what I was getting at with that, though. Is while it is Varder, it isn't Varder. It's the cow kit taking on his persona, correct? Is more or less how that is?
More or less, yeah.
So it's not exactly him. So
no. They took the image more to alert him to the fact that they are essentially him in a way, and more comforting look than random crystals, because they know that.
They identified themselves as the nation of Varder.
Well, geographically, that is where they are.
Yeah. It's like, do I count as an independent?
Geographically? Interstellarly. Anyway, astrographically.
Yeah. Let's not argue about or discuss what the rights of the nation of Varder are within the Federation. That's a whole other can of worms. An interesting one, though. I'll give it that. I'll have to give you a threat, though. Just because I like having an extra die. On. Oh, no, he doesn't have that. Never mind. He once had that. He doesn't have it at the moment. But that's 3 successes. We've got 2 momentum. Look at that.
You reach out, and you sense her mind in the ocean. Vulcan minds are pretty easy to pick out. They're a calmness, a stone still amidst the ocean, even if it's turbulent. Very calm, very controlled minds. And you find her, you reach over, and you sense the mind. And you do that generic friendly thing you do with someone psionic to kind of let them know you're in their head. You know, it's like walking into someone's house.
Yeah.
Even if they're okay with you just walking in, you still should say hi or I'm here or knock on the door, or stamp your foot, something just to alert people that you aren't just sneaking in.
Yeah, Faro.
And you're met with silence. Now, most people would start to panic and think maybe the person's dead or something like that. No, the house is here. The brain is here. It is awake. It's not responding to your presence, even though you announced yourself. And you just get the faintest hint of the sense of wonderment and awe. Very, very muffled, as most Vulcan emotions are.
Okay, so they're being shown something or seeing something. Oh. Oh, shit. I've seen this before, but not as Varder. It's probably a mission report Varder might have read at some point. God damn it. Actually, to that end, is this a mission report Varder could have used at some read at some point with, intelligence officer or something like that?
Something like with your intelligence officer ability, you could fire that, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure this is they're being shown something to basically render them all inert, right?
Yeah,
Would
yeah.
be the assumption here.
That'd be a pretty safe assumption.
Something to do with being able to pry through that and wake someone up.
You could forcibly do that, yeah.
I mean, I'm in their head, which means I could be a contesting force to, hey, whatever you're seeing, look over here. Like, try to get their attention and basically guide them into waking themselves up. Kind of like what happened to Varuk, actually. Huh. When he was on that iceberg thing with the other people. Which happened in a different earlier episode.
So what do you do?
Well, we're going to have to try that. Having the crew awake on that vessel would be, 1, important, and 2, means whatever is happening to them or whatever they might be doing in this unconscious state is halted.
Are you doing it just to her, or are you broadcasting to the whole ship?
I'm guessing blasting to the whole ship would be way more difficult.
It would, yeah.
How much more difficult are we talking?
Well, you're looking at presence plus command. Difficulty 2 if it was just her. Difficulty 6 if it's the whole ship.
Okay. Tavara cannot run a ship on her own. And I am Barter. Okay, yeah, we'll go for the entire crew.
Okay.
That's partly the, I owe Starfleet a lot. So let's try and save as many of the Starfleeters here as I can. So to that end, part of the ocean trait.
Yep.
Because I am not alone doing this. Midnight Special Agent trait.
4.
Contacts within Starfleet trait. To the end that, yes, he's a Starfleet captain anyway, but contacts within Starfleet, meaning he is not outright a stranger to these other Starfleeters, or some of them at least.
Like, you can present, I am Captain Varberdun of the Lovek, and please follow my instructions.
Or it's someone that he's met before, or something like that.
Yeah. So some of the crew are easier to talk to than others. Like, oh, I know you.
Yeah.
I've met. I served on the Kismet with you. I know who you are.
Oh, I remember seeing you as a poster boy.
Yeah.
You're the reason I joined. That's great. That's not why I'm here.
Can I have your autograph? Maybe later, but for the moment.
Psionics focus.
Yeah.
Or lead by example, actually, advisor. Lead by example focus, if that'll work.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how much a mental autograph would be worth, though. I have plenty of imaginary autographs.
That could also be wake up and I can get you one for real. But I'm using
That's what
the
they
my
all
example
say.
because of the advisor focus that's attached to that, or the advisor
Ah.
talent that's attached to that, which means a bonus momentum on a success, if I recall correctly. Let me double check that one.
Please do.
When you use the focus for the task and succeed. Yeah, when you use this focus on a task and succeed, you generate 1 bonus momentum. Yep. And to double check that I have intelligence officer and advisor are my multi-discipline. Yep. Okay.
Oh, your roll power. That's what you're doing.
Yes.
Gotcha.
That's what the advisor is.
Right.
It's like not the most useful, but it's useful enough to try to get the bonus momentum when I can sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's diff 3 presence command. We'll save that for a reroll, I think. And we'll give you 2 momentum and 1 threat. I'm glad there wasn't a comp increase.
So, what happens to Tavara's mind?
In Tavara's mind, in the mind space of a southwest desert vista, staring into the stars and picking out that one star in the night sky that's slightly brighter than the rest, that faint call to the homeworld. Someone kind of reaches out to her shoulder. She feels a presence, and he says, "You need to wake up, Captain."
God damn it, do we just need to wake up again?
Picturing what? I'm going to blink and then my eyes open and we're back on the bridge.
You blink, and if I could find the wildfire again, there you are.
You already deleted it. You thought they were dead.
Oh, don't say that.
I'm joking. Where am I?
Boop, 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 boop. Kind of blink your eyes. Shields will be off at the moment. And you find that you were your neck had been craned up like you were staring up into the ceiling. And as you kind of level your head, you look around, so everyone else kind of starts like stretching their necks like, ow, like because everyone was basically staring straight up for a bit.
I imagine this is like a blinking console at communications because they were getting hailed.
No.
No.
Captain, what's going on?
Yeah. Vulcan eyebrow raise. Something psychic. And she's going to tap her. No, she is going to tap on her bridge chair communicator and try to reach out to hail. Actually, that might be metagaming. Did I get the impression of Captain Varder when I felt that hand on me? Or
You did.
Is that okay? In that case, then I want to hail the Varder ship, the Lovek.
The camera zooms on Tavara's hand as it rests on the keypad. She starts punching in the command. A hand rests on her wrist. I'm sorry, Captain. You need to be somewhere else right now.
Did Commander McLaren?
She looks up and she notices that her crew are all being allowed to be are being carried to the ground like they're almost like they're Vulcan neck pinched, and you're gently letting them to the floor.
Hmm.
Tavara sees a Vulcanoid in long white collinar robes. It's kind of resting a hand and just kind of pats it softly. Apologies. This must be done. And she feels a sudden pinch at her neck, and everything goes dark. Captain, the Lovex, the wildfire's gone. It just vanished. I mean, there's still the impression they left when they hit the iceberg, but there's nothing else. They're gone.
Gather and save absolutely all data in the moments leading up to that, and from now on. I know we can't necessarily believe everything we're seeing, but we have to act with what we know, and that is the lovely part about this information.
You feel a presence in your badge.
Charming.
Subject secured at AP line.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Okay. The wildfire is secure. Do not. Well, we can save that data, but it'll probably be wiped from our systems later. Okay. How the hell am I going to explain that one to Pent?
New scene. Now back to the station.
That was very much a like holding his
Whoopsie,
brow ridge, by
whoopsie.
the way.
Wrong music. You're not dead.
Like, you know what I mean? Like thumb and forefinger either side of the nose. Like, oh my god. I'm glad they're safe, but also why?
Commander Throlic.
Yes?
You're short an officer. The Sog is staring at the ceiling, kind of flabbergasted. Like, of all the weird stuff he's seen, that's new to him.
Flora probably was, and then she's like brushing off her sleeve, going, I suppose I'm now the senior scientist.
Talora gives me insight plus engineering difficulty 2.
You might be the senior officer with science of the science class, but I am the senior Starfleet officer of science training.
Now the
wait.
let it
Wait.
go, Oliver says, and he sits back down.
Medical?
She's just going to cough and under her breath say, "It is important to properly categorize things as they are."
Right,
Oliver's
so you're
just,
medical.
he's
Insight
just sitting,
engineering.
hitting the head against the bulkhead.
Analysis focus?
Sure. Dunk. As Oliver hits their head. Well, hits their Ebed head. Dunk. Dunk.
Unless any of her other focuses are, for whatever reason, relevant. I'm assuming analysis is probably the most relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Insight engineering.
Oh, and comp is up to 5, by the way. Because it's something you're noticing on the computer screen behind you.
Oh, god damn it.
Don't worry, the station will try to help.
Yeah.
Don't.
Okay. Well,
Don't.
I'm giving you... Actually, okay, so that talent says I give you momentum. Can I give you a threat for that?
Yep.
Okay. Using science. Why? Because there's a complication 5 and I want to reroll. Is that fair? As far as everyone here is concerned?
Mm-hmm.
Arlen disagrees, though. He thinks it's
Diff
unfair.
what, sorry?
Diff 2.
Diff 2. I'll give you a threat.
Sure. It would have been 1, but the you're overriding, so it's automatically harder.
Yeah. I didn't change the name, but that is on the right sheet. Varder does not by any means have a science of 4.
I don't need to roll for this. I can look. I remember writing down the sheet because I know what this thing's stats are. In case you actually fought it in the normal world.
Yeah, and it's actually a station, so it should be at least average. At least average.
It's a Klingon station.
It is a Klingon station. What was this house again? The sub house or whatever they were.
Anon.
House. Wow.
That's what they are.
It just sounded different the way you said it.
That they do not help, but they didn't roll high enough for comp.
Okay.
It would appear that whatever that was, that shifting and bending of the station has compromised the warp core.
Oh fuck.
You are currently in combat timing because now it really matters.
The improvised manner in which Instant Then has exited this station has compromised the warp core.
Right.
It might be possible to compensate from here, though the difficulty of such a task is likely to be incredible.
You feel the deck plating moving around under your feet. You can feel the shuddering as the inertial dampers stop working quite so well, and you can feel the rocking of the station as it's bobbing in the water.
And can Nurse Oliver roll for a panic attack?
Certainly. Fitness plus medicine. Difficulty 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, good. And I gave him cautious, and we don't have any momentum. Sorry, diff 5, you said?
Uh-huh. Almost like something's feeding on that panic.
Yeah.
Or throwing fuel into the fire, I might say.
Diff 5 is almost... Wow. Okay. Yeah, no focuses. Just a single threat will do.
Certainly.
We'll see what happens. Yeah, there you go.
Oliver sees what's his favorite color? Just
What's
randomly.
Oliver's favorite color? Purple.
Yeah, purple. He sees a purple door, and he feels an intense heat coming from it. But he gets the feeling that if he opens that door, all the panic he feels in his heart is going to go away.
Well, Oliver is going to stand up and is going to be like, all right, guys, I need some air. And he's going to walk towards the purple door.
Fuck.
Can I notice what's happening?
Yes. You can actually see Oliver saying, I need to get some air.
Okay.
And then mysteriously is reaching out to a door panel in the middle of the room. Like it's that gesture you make when you're about to hit the door key to open a locked door. They're pawing at a phantom door.
Okay.
You can attempt to assist with the roll that he's attempting to resist. They got one hit.
Yes, I'm gonna do that.
I mean, you need to hit 4, so I don't think you can.
Me, I'll assist.
Depends how Throlic gets you to assist, because Throlic needs to communicate what's going on.
Like, Throlic's aware because Varder has informed her in a manner of speaking. So she's probably now sitting there like, oh, click.
Yeah.
This door isn't
exactly what's
opening.
happening.
The alternative is you could do something else to try to interrupt the action that Oliver's trying to do.
Or prompt a course of action once he has done it.
Yeah. He's Oliver would start looking around for like a manual override switch.
Oh, he finds it. It's right there. It's clearly labeled.
Yeah.
Hey, there it is. Reaches out, grabs it, pulls it.
I'm going to start saying, I'm going to start basically repeating the stuff that Varder was saying to Throlic. Like, keep moving. Don't let the this is gonna make no sense to everybody else. You know, it's gonna be like, keep moving. Don't let the fire hurt you. You can move through it and master it.
Yeah,
Do
I'm
not
trying to
let
move
it
through it. There's a
consume you.
door. There's door.
You press the door, and you see plasma fire. So hot that it is the suit's melting away, and many other things will as well.
Run through it. Run through it now.
Presence plus command. I'm assuming Oliver would be keen on running into a plasma fire. I didn't think so. Difficulty of 6, because Oliver's resistant to this idea. Thankfully, Oliver might trust you enough, and he could assist with insight plus command.
Well, Vengeance floating out there. This is fine.
Huh. Made possible
fine.
by, but not assisted by Carter.
I'm picturing he's got like a podcast loaded up or an audiobook. You know, he's got his hands on the back of his head. He's just chilling.
Commander, he can't hear you. He's got his AirPods in.
GM.
Yeah.
GM, trait calm in the storm. I feel like this is the time it fires.
I could see it.
Your calming voice, yeah.
I'm the one rolling inside command, right?
Yeah, to assist.
You are assisted.
Yeah, I'm rolling presence command.
Because you're trying to guess
yes,
at why.
he has a trait.
Yes. Wait, what? Say again.
ESP.
You have that as a trait?
Yes,
Oh.
I bought that as a trait as well.
Oh, okay.
shortly
Yeah,
after.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, son of a gun.
Yeah.
Be right back.
And then, I mean, so this one makes sense to me. I have to, I think, sell it though. We've established that one of the upsides and downsides of the hoplites is that they will follow orders fairly unquestioningly. You know.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to traditional Starfleet, who is much more likely to question orders. I imagine that some of that is in how they're trained, but also some of that has got to be from the position of command. So I'd like to argue for Hoplite Commander. I am speaking with such assurance and direct impetus of the order I am giving now.
I will say yes.
Right. So it is down to difficulty 3 as a roll now. I also have a perfect focus for this. Focus and guidance.
Yeah?
Look. I'm built for this. Somehow. I really need to talk to Varder again, I guess. And this is too perfect. I'm going to spend toward a value. I am the voice of my crew.
Okay, I follow what you're saying. Yeah.
There's a door with fire.
Mm-hmm. And
I'm just glad your favorite color was
all right,
blue.
so that means that I have I have 5. Yeah, that'll be weird. I have 5 hits right now.
Okay.
Against difficulty 6. I am rolling 2.
Oh, wild that you can just have that.
I know, right? All right, so that's 3 more hits, 4 more hits.
Oliver feels an
So
impetus.
we generate 3 momentum off that.
Oh, you're back. 3 momentum. Oliver, it sounds like the craziest thing in the world, in the whole galaxy, but for some reason, it must be one of those Starfleet weird things you have to do. Well, hey, the way through the door is the way out of the panic attack, so you sprint through. And and
Okay. Fire! Oh, the fire! I'm just
and you
running.
find the fire is perfectly warm, almost body temperature. And Oliver becomes very aware of the thoughts and emotions of the people around him, and the panic subsides as the rest of you everyone else in the room feels a sudden twinge of panic just flow into you, like someone dropped a rock into a pond and the ripples hit you. Like Oliver's pouring out his panic and sharing it with everyone else around him, but it's spread out across like multiple minds. Ugh.
And Throlic is serving as the calm in the storm.
The Sog draws his dagger and looks around, and like that's his coping mechanism with panicking, is getting ready to stab whatever made him panic, which oddly comforts him.
Oliver just sort of takes a deep breath in, a deep breath out. Do I know what helped?
You know, Throlic told you to charge through the plasma fire.
Oliver will look up at the commander, give a small, sort of meager smile, and just put his back against the wall.
Added a trait to it, and there's Oliver.
Really? What?
Yeah.
So,
what about?
as the combat turn continues, what do the rest of you do?
Yeah.
Because 2 people have used up their action currently.
Yeah. I can still communicate.
You can. You just can't do a task roll at the moment.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't have put that in the Discord.
We
Oops.
wanted to pull data, correct? That was one of the things we wanted to do. I mean, there is also, what is the potential for securing the breach from here?
It would be an extended task with increased difficulty and complication because you're doing it from the Franken controls.
Yeah. And Telora isn't an engineer.
And in theory, if you couldn't do the extended task, normal training, normal naval protocol will tell you just eject the core. Forget it. The core is going to kill us all. We might as well get rid of it. Except you don't know if the station's ejection systems work properly. So you might waste an action trying to get it to eject.
Station. You might just not have an ejection system.
That's true. Some lesser houses do that to prevent acts of cowardice, shall we say.
What kind of house was this one again?
Religious and political.
Religious and political.
Guardians of tradition.
Actually, she can just... So, does your core eject?
Yes. Of course it does.
Oh yeah, of course.
He looks at you confused, like, who's dumb enough not to do that?
Commander, is this the applicable course of action?
Do you believe you can stabilize, or would our time be better served extracting what data we can?
Stabilization seems highly unlikely given the location and expertise available, but the ejection of the core could be achievable.
Very well, proceed.
Assuming the system works. She'll add after she said very well.
Nurse Aelith, Eliath?
Elias, we really did go over this many times.
I'm very sorry. Is going to raise a finger, and she's going to say, if there is a risk of warp core breach, would it not make sense to evacuate non-essential personnel until the danger is cleared?
I believe standard minimum complement for a station of this size should be at least 30 people. We have 7. Congratulations, you're essential.
Well,
Hey.
the hoplites look annoyed that they weren't counted.
Oh, right, there are the hoplites.
Like, aren't people?
14? Oh, well, there's 14 then.
Hoplites are people too.
Eliath doesn't have an argument to go against her, so she's just going to lower her finger and close her mouth.
On Corby. You can't do that to me.
I need to be keeping
I
score
didn't
for
do
the
this to you.
Romulan here. She's scoring
Come
points
on.
tonight. She is scoring boohoo points tonight. That's to eject the core as diff 6?
Yeah, apparently this place, that's the problem when the thing shifts and blends and has mushrooms and crap all over the place. There is an ejection system. It's just messed up, and you have to find all kinds of. You'll have to eject like a couple decks just to give it room to eject, because stuff's in the way.
Well, actually, good thing that will align with, in a manner of speaking, Romulan naval protocol. We're trying to save the ship. We don't care about the lives. If there were lives there, they would be screwed. There aren't,
Naval
but-
protocols as a focus, yes.
Yeah, I do have Star Navy as a trait.
I will take Star Navy because the Romans are somewhat familiar, disturbingly so, with Klingon starship design
Yeah, either we help them make it or are busy boarding their stupid things.
or spies.
Yes, that too.
Forget Tal Shiar, just regular naval spies.
Navy spies, yeah. Yeah. Don't worry, we've not been on the station before. I swear.
Diff or comp?
I feel like difficulty.
Okay.
Yeah, because diff 6 for a support is interesting as it is. I did the reading this scene, correct? That's what I used to get the information in the first place. I did. Okay, so
for the roll for
yes.
yeah.
Which I can use again. It just increases the cost by 1, so it'd be 2 instead this time. But that does up my score by 2. Which seems worth it to me. So have 2 momentum. To swap to science. Use that. I could. This is the value of rule 0 of the scientific method. You have to survive long enough to do the scientific method.
No, I'm sorry, I don't think I quite heard you.
Value of rule 0 of the scientific method.
Is that really on her sheet? What?
Yes. The full thing isn't on the sheet, but just rule 0 of the scientific method. Otherwise, survival has always been about being at least 1 step ahead.
I will take it here. Yep.
Yeah.
Is that really on your sheet?
Yeah, I just checked. Yeah.
You were like, who would make a value like that? I'm like, I would. Listen, the first step about scientific method is making sure what you're trying to find out about isn't killing you.
Look, I mean, are you even playing a Star Trek Adventures character if you don't have one value that makes the other players go, hmm?
Okay, that said, diff 5. I've got 2 successes. Technically 3, because it was a diff 6. So, I've got 2. I'm gonna have to. Is that or yeah. This vaguely constitutes a more successful mission. So, 5 and 1. No, I'll just give you 6, but keep the momentum just in case. That'll help. Maybe, possibly, we'll keep the momentum for now. But I'll give you 6 threat. No, 5 threat because I have the 5 threat. I know what I'm doing. I am competent. Holy crap. Okay. 1916. Roll that. Doesn't keep that. She's got 1 reroll. She's got 4 successes at the moment. Yeah. there is a complication, but she made it and made an extra momentum.
So
So
you can spend 2 to quad.
exactly. That's how you keeping that momentum was a good idea.
You have ejected the core.
The downside is
It will still eventually blow up.
it will
and
still eventually explode, and I do not know how far away it will drift before it does that, and we cannot raise our shields. Also, I don't know what the damage currently existing to the station is. I can probably find that out by looking at these systems. Probably should say them somewhere, right?
For a threat, I can answer a question.
Oh. Do you guys want to know?
Yes,
Sure.
please.
Yeah, what is the current integrity of this station?
Well,
Aside from poor.
But the integrity of the station? No.
Yeah. What's integrity?
The integrity of its station, well, it would lie and cheat to get ahead in life.
You know, we'll find out if the Achilles is observant enough to notice a core ejection and can use its tractor beam in a repulsor fashion to push it away from us. That would be helpful.
In essence, the station has multiple breaches across all systems, which equates to, in short form, basically all systems are disabled. So if they basically can take, each of them could take one more breach before it's absolutely destroyed.
Which would mean that we can take 6 more breaches before the station's destroyed?
The key one you're scared of is a structure breach. If the
Oh.
structure's destroyed, you will be staring out into space.
Well, we have Eva. The Soak doesn't have an Eva suit, does he?
No.
No. Okay. Well.
But if like there's if you take multiple breaches, which you have shields down, and you'll likely take at least 5.
Yeah.
You will likely take you'll take a breach from one thing. One thing will be destroyed, and then a second thing will be destroyed because it'll bleed over. If it tries to hit the same system twice, it can't destroy
True.
something that's already destroyed, so it bleeds into something else. So it depends on what gets hit first.
The core's ejected. The status of the station is dire, to put it lightly. If we take damage, it is likely that the structure will be compromised to the extent that these Eva suits are 100% required for survival. Unfortunately for the Soak. I believe contacting the Achilles to request that push instead of waiting for their initiative might be the best option.
Confirmed. Specialist, calculate
Senior
a
Chief Petty Officer.
right. Yeah.
Again and again.
Again and
It's
again,
important
yeah.
to
Probably
categorize things
would know
according to their
that.
proper taxonomic rank.
So yeah, it would be Senior Chief, calculate the blast radius of the Klingon warp core of a station of this size and transmit those calculations to the Achilles.
We cut to the Achilles as Kino uses her action to communicate with them.
These are of equivalent rank, by the way.
Man, this is a really good audiobook.
Yeah.
So while Rylov is attending to that problem,
Yep.
in the form of an ensign, Pend, you're getting a communique from the away team, as you know, as census report that the station has ejected its warp core along with several deck plates. And Kino alerts you to the fact that if it goes off, it will, at the moment, mechanically speaking, if it remains in close range, you're currently at medium to it. If that thing goes off while it's in close range, it'll damage anything in close range to it. So you'd have to shove it at least one more range band. So you'd have to move closer and shove it because you're too far away for a tractor beam at the moment.
Oh, I thought they were in close if they transported us to the.
I thought, and then we backed off.
Then
Oh,
you backed
did?
off.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yep. Never mind.
The station did move a little closer. So the station actually the station was in medium either way. It moved a tiny bit closer, but it didn't change range bands or anything.
Gotcha.
You are in combat timing still, because that determines when the core goes off, if it goes off.
Okay. I have a couple very stupid ideas, Captain.
Sure, what have you got?
One, we can detonate a torpedo in close range of the core and shove it away, and we stay here. That would probably save time, but high risk, high reward. Or we can get closer and push it away with a tractor beam.
Which do you feel more confident with?
I don't have time to do the math on that, do I? I GM.
With combat timing, no.
And the warp core, or it rolls its dice at the top of the round.
At the end of the round, once everyone has acted, it'll roll a challenge die. So it might not go off right away. 2 in 6 chance.
I think we have. I think we should have time. To get over there and shove it away. Let's do that.
Very well. Con, think us closer, please.
Which I'm guessing is append direct.
Sure.
You move into close range, I presume, within tractor distance.
Yeah.
Okay. Over you go. On the view screen, you can see the core. It's sunk down because it fired down, and it looks like it's floating up back to the station.
I'll direct someone else to think it away then, because that apparently works.
I'll try that.
So Arn's gonna use his action to attempt to think it away. Is he?
Yep.
Presence plus con difficulty 4.
I'm directing you so I can just turn my assist into a crit.
That helps. Limit pusher. I've never thought away a warp core before.
I'll say no in this case.
Fast thinker. So
I'll
system
take
using
that.
thought.
Yep. Did this work? No. Does this work? No. This works. Do it this way.
Lateral thinker. Since we're thinking outside the box.
Fair enough. Yep.
Reckless.
Comp increase, yeah.
And I hate to say it, but ADHD, if this involves concentration.
Comp increase, yeah.
I have to be honest. Focus in technical insight. Where to push the core so where it doesn't destabilize as I'm pushing it.
Yeah.
But you're from the inside, right?
Where all the antimatter is.
Yeah.
Just pushing antimatter against the magnetic wall. Everything will be fine. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
This doesn't count as a repair, does it?
I wouldn't say so, no.
All right. All right, so we brought the dip down to 3, and we have comp 3.
I thought you brought it down to 2. Didn't you have 2, like quick thinker and lateral thinker?
Oh, fast thinker and lateral thinker. Okay.
No comp increase for me. I didn't do anything. Oh, you added 2. Yeah, there. Yeah.
I added 2 comps.
Right. Yeah. So it's total 3. You're right.
All right. Let's do 1 single threat.
Certainly.
All right. I'll screw up. bold.
I was
All
gonna say,
right.
but it's con anyway, so.
Oh shit. All right. In that
13
case,
would
I
have
can't.
made it. 18 and 19 would have still been what they were. So you actually have one more hit, I think. If you're...
Yeah, so it would have
For this
hit,
con.
and I directed mine into a crit so we can squash.
Ooh, born near a warp
Or-
core.
I could do that. You know what? Let's do that. Let's at least attempt. Born near a warp core. I'm not lucky.
Do you have a medal?
You know what? Let's try value. With luck in practice, there are no limits.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna reroll my 2 zeros. That's better. Get to keep that. And let's see. We have how much extra momentum we have?
3.
Wait, I have a medal. I should do that. Legion of Honor, +2 in momentum. I shoved it in such a way, and as I was pushing it, I manipulated some of the components to stabilize it a little bit, so it's not as likely to blow up this next round.
You could do that, yeah.
Like mechanically, we get 1 free reroll.
I would basically make it blow up on a 6 instead of a 5/6. It would be how I would do it.
Okay, that works. So yeah, I spend the medal to create that advantage.
Though you'd have to roll an actual d6 for that because the challenge die roller doesn't tell you what it rolls.
Yeah. And as it gets shoved away, Captain Penn, you find yourself hailing the wildfire in open space. It looks to be pretty heavily damaged, but otherwise it seems to have withstood the attack on those mines quite well. And immediately, Penn being penned, he knows something's off.
Am I able to figure out what?
Insight command, difficulty 2. There's a trait of yours that's making this possible.
We're back in normal space now?
Oh, you always were. What are you talking about?
Oh, but we're not, are we?
We always
No,
were.
but you are.
Focus in mental prowess.
Yep.
Take a threat.
It should be over here. Your mind's been altered. You have training in your previous line of work to recognize when something's been done to your head, and you feel it. Someone's messed with your memories. And it isn't like that. It's very different to the universe shifting thing, but you can tell your mind's been altered. And then the memories of what's happened come flooding back to you because you're able to kind of remember. You're able to unlock the locked parts of your brain.
So can I tell whether it's voluntary or involuntary?
Unexpected. So involuntary would be the default, I imagine, because you didn't know it was being done to you. But you do remember hearing, if you have any questions, I'll be in your ready room.
Sure, I'll head over to the ready room.
Captain?
Commander, you have the bridge.
And you go down a deck. You find yourself on the briefing deck. Whoops. I forgot that's on loop. It shouldn't be. Stop.
Yeah, I'll head on over and enter my ready room.
And inside, waiting for you, you see... Oh, do I have him still? Well, one person you see is Captain Varder. And observing your rather elaborate weapon collection. Oops, way too big. It's a Vulcan in long white robes. I hate to say you're right, Captain. That did not take very long at all. It seems our technique...
Oh, I assume you're talking about the false memories.
Yes, we were trying to be less invasive with the process, but it worked with most of the crew. We didn't want any long-term damage, but it seems that level of protection isn't enough.
It's not the first time I've encountered psionics up or down levels of reality, different realities, eldritch beings, whatever you want. So, I'm used to it.
Logan raises an eyebrow at Varder.
No, he's quite accurate in that.
Different
in the-
dimension, yeah. Time travel, hyperspace, outside the galaxy, inside the galaxy. Go ahead.
In the time both aboard the Kismet and from his reports aboard the Achilles. From time before and time now, and time repeating.
I leave it to you to explain the importance of the secret, Captain, since I doubt he's going to listen to me very well.
Oh, are you willing to listen, Captain?
I mean, there's very little chance of you surprising me at this stage, so why don't you both take a seat and try to entertain me?
Very well. Exactly which part do you want me to explain to him?
The fact that the third tenant must be upheld, and if he doesn't, then his entire crew is in danger.
Yes, so explain this in the sense that he is past the third tenant.
He looks over at Pend and looks back at you. As is necessary. And you actually notice the Vulcan's face does look a little... shows actual exasperation for a brief moment. He kind of just rubs it away from his face and calms down.
Well, the third tenant, I believe knowing the tenants in and of themselves isn't actually a violation. The third tenant, in short, is to maintain a secret. And you have, to an extent, seen part of what the secret is. The secret is something that, when people uncover it, forces them to make a choice. And the most difficult choice is the one that will forever expose them to the true nature of the secret and force them into a position where they must face off against it. For if they do not face off against it, they will become a part of it. The combined crews of these vessels have seen a lot. They've been directly influenced in all sorts of other unfun things.
Fortunately for you, Captain, the crew of the Achilles has been able to comprehend what they're seeing in ways they understand. The secret, veiled in science and conventional understanding. Save for one of your nurses, I believe, a nurse Oliver, I believe it was, Varder.
Yes.
Um,
Have we spoken to them?
well, that's part of it. We're going to need, well, Varder has pointed out to me that you would frown upon us simply absconding with the officer, with the
Yes.
nurse. So I would ask you to please allow, if not myself, then Captain Varder to transit him to our nearest Midnight Watch branch office so we can treat him and help him understand what he's seen.
Coincidentally, Narendra Station, where we need to go anyway.
Well, sorry, I didn't get your name.
There's a reason for that.
I mean, I'm just trying to common courtesy here.
He looks at Varder, looks at Pend.
If you want an officer that I trust extensively, Penn would be one of them. In fact, he's one of the few people that, if they were faced with the choice, they'd make the right one without any sort of tutoring whatsoever. That's just their nature. Even if he doesn't like us.
See, you say that, Varda. Apart from the fact of I have supported the Midnight Watch becoming more transparent and more readily available, and yet had members of the Watch rudely come aboard my vessel and interrogate members of my crew.
That is something I also need to look into. The plan was for Narendra, and then things happened.
It was a botched interrogation. There are more. We don't have to do things that way anymore. Some of us still forget that we're on the same side nowadays, and you're out to kill us all.
Yes, and I've been a large proponent of trying to
Prevent that, I know.
yeah, also helping with like myth and help synthetic life being agreed upon in the Federation. I'm trying to help further us, but it doesn't help when certain people start annoying me.
Yeah, the phrase is, I believe, old habits die hard, and, well, I would love to talk to the specific agent involved in that, if I'm allowed to, though I doubt that's the case.
That's a Midnight Captain's problem, not yours.
Yes,
And
but I like problems.
I did.
Well,
Small smile.
I did try and reach out to Wolfgang. I'm waiting for a response.
He's told me.
I don't. If you need a name to call me by, you may call me Soval.
Saval.
But I am a Midnight Captain of the Midnight Watch, and I am tasked with addressing the Achilles issue and Narendra issue, and by extension. with the help of Captain Varder, as I am not familiar. But my lack of familiarity means that I can approach this without the same level of baggage.
So,
Attachments and all of that.
yeah, that's fine. And you wish to commandeer, nurse a baby for education, shall we say?
Yes.
I would say treatment, but education is the more accurate term, I suppose.
A temporary
Yeah.
transfer to the Lovec as we approach Narendra should suffice, really.
I
Full education opportunity under my doctor.
yeah, I assume you have the paperwork ready.
Yes.
I've already informed the Admiralty of the importance of the wildfire being debriefed in a very careful manner, but that is outside my and Captain Varder's purview, beyond making sure they get back to Narendra, which I imagine the Achilles is more than capable of doing without our interference.
Somewhat inside my purview as an intelligence officer, actually.
If you can make sure they take it seriously, I'd appreciate it. They seem to think I was merely talking about temporal anomalies.
I can stress upon them as... Actually, I believe I'm one of the highest ranked intelligence officers in the area. Oh, damn. I've got to find out. Captain Pend, you're in the same situation, actually, of figuring out an entirely new chain of command and names. It's fun, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's something you have to get used to when you get shunted into a different reality.
Yes. So, when we do reach Narendra, one, I would appreciate being able to catch up with some of the crew. Thralic, for example, it's been a while. I hear you've got another Bajoran on your senior staff. That's just a matter of curiosity. And I do need to speak with Ven in a manner that's far less aggressive than was handled before.
I don't have any issues with that, but I would stress that it's not handled in the same way. I say this with as much sincerity as you wish to believe. I don't wish to go to quote unquote war with the Midnight Watch.
And the Watch has no interest in going to war with Starfleet. Our grudges are years old, and many of us need to start waking up to the modern realities.
Mm-hmm. As such, any meeting with Ven is under your specific instruction, or open to your suggestion. It's not going to be recorded and broadcast to the Federation, for obvious reasons. I'm giving you a lot of freedom here, Pend, is what I'm trying to say.
If you wish, I would request that I know you're obligated by Starfleet regulations to report and log your activities. I am in no position or authority to order you one way or the other. I would ask and request your discretion. This information about the things you've seen will, if not handled with care, will result in the same mistakes that House Button-On did that started this whole mess in the first place. Power overwhelming attracts greed overwhelming.
I am required to report what I deem is relevant and necessary. That doesn't mean everything.
And it can also be stuck behind the black tape of existential Federation threat classifications.
I just hope we're getting to a point where there's less separation between organizations, considering how technology is and understanding is.
That requires the Federation Council to integrate us into their government, which is proving
difficult, tedious.
Yes.
Actually, speaking of, there's an incident in this area which is restricted only to the office of the Federation President, and also the High Chancellor of the Klingon Empire, but I can probably get this incident added onto that existing one, or attempt to. I need to talk with the President anyway. And that should, in a manner, help lock this event away in a safe way.
Now, the one thing I will say to you, Captain Pend, is if you're able to break through the treatment, the mental block that I gave, I imagine, given your after reading over what the Achilles crew can do, I imagine you're not going to be the only one who will see through it. They're going to need their captain to help them understand. I know, I wish I could tell you more than that, but I don't think it'd be responsible of me to do that to you.
I'll deal with people who remember. And if it comes to a time where you need more voices for integration, I'm still willing to offer mine, even if it's lessened in this reality.
Captains, I think that is the moment where I excuse myself and you carry on with your Starfleet duties.
Very well. Good luck, Captain.
Yes, good luck.
Actually, I'm going to guess that the Lovek is probably in close proximity just with its sensor dampening on, isn't it?
It's nearby. It's near the cover is that Lovek came as backup to the Achilles to help with the problem. Which that's not untoward. Lovek was in the area.
Yeah. So.
Vada,
Yes, Captain.
before you go, and I know you're not going to reveal anything, so don't.
Who knows?
It's
Well,
probably yeah. Between us, the Watch, the Klingons, the Bajorans, pick one.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure a lot of what you could say and I'm not going to say wouldn't surprise me. So, if in the future it comes down to it, don't be surprised it doesn't have an effect.
Oh, I'm sure you'll be one of the most nonplussed, I believe is the phrase, right?
Sure.
Nonplussed people about it. No, it won't bother you. You will likely be under some kind of, I would say impressed, I suppose, at the scale of things. You can be impressed and still be like, huh, okay. I know how it goes. But we do have our rules, and one of them is that we cannot tell those who do not need to know. It's like that.
Oh, very well. Send your orders to Nurse Baby, and when we return to Narendra, we can deal with his transfer.
Yes. The Lovik is inbound, and yeah, I'm already on your ship. We just won't explain that one.
Oh, concerning the commander.
Mm-hmm.
I know she's reaching out psionically to understand things a bit more. If you can talk with her,
That wasn't intention, Captain. I recently learned some things about her that I didn't know before, but I was aware that she was having psionic experiences without training, so to speak.
It's more of a case of she's very insightful. She's talented at what she does. I don't want her to rely too much on this ability she's found. I'm not saying to not train it, but
I understand.
It's easy for people to find something like this and use it as a crutch.
I would remind you of the Kismet when Adler's ship exploded. That general time period, and a certain senior chief petty officer who had the same problem.
I know, and that's why I'm asking. It's better coming from someone who has the experience in this.
Yeah, and also apparently knew her godfather.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
got a lot to talk about. Let's just leave it at that.
Well, if there's nothing else,
Nothing comes to mind, Captain.
get the
I'll
fuck
be
out
around
then.
if you have other questions.
No, because you're probably not going to answer them for different reasons.
Well, I answer a lot of questions. I am generally far more straightforward than a lot of intelligence officers. Klingon, Starfleet, or Watch.
I know, but there's only
It is-
so many times I can throw my face into a wall, so...
Don't ask the classified ones. How are you is fine.
But where's the fun in those questions?
And we cut away to one last scene. It's a short one. Don't worry about it, folks.
How are you is fine. Sorry.
Whoops. Can I? I have one. Where'd
Yeah,
it go?
that's the entire discussion. How are you? I'm fine. Okay.
Actually, how I am is classified. Then,
Yes.
is there anyone with Ven just relaxing in the lounge after having a good night's sleep and on your way to Narendra?
Oh, you're asking Ven. Sorry.
Oh, asking if
I'm
anyone
over
else
here.
would go along with Ven to relax at the lounge the following day
I think
on your way back to Narendra.
I think Varuk would probably be sitting at a table, just sort of, like looking at a tablet, excuse me, a data pad, and would notice Ven sort of walking in.
Yeah, Ven just sort of walks past, not taking particular note of him, and goes over to the window.
Is anyone else present? You don't have to be. I'm just asking if you are.
You know, Ryloth does not hang out with Ven, so.
Oh.
Not unless it's an
where are
interrogation room.
Of the events over the past month worth of episodes.
You remember the whole mine thing and helping out the wildfire, and they got attacked. You had to chase after them and save them. Those bullet points, basically.
We have no recollection at all of the mission that we've been doing for a month.
The weird mind shit.
You remember going to a weird world that was like Earth, and they had these mech suits and stuff? You remember all that?
Oh, okay.
Can I?
A weird
So
spatial
I don't
anomaly.
remember blowing Ven's mind with the number 47.
I would like
No,
to also try to
not at the
remember
moment.
that. Okay, but
Well, I'm just checking to see if anyone else is there before we get to that part of it.
okay.
Nope.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay. Just you three? Got it. So yeah, you see Ven walk over. You all felt kind of tired after the mission. Lots of negotiating with those strange humans and their weird ways and trying not to get into shootouts and stuff. And it gets kind of hazy, but you were really tired. And then, as you're looking out the window, you can see a very, very thin line stretch across this sort of false horizon amidst the stars, and it sways up and down.
Like waves on an ocean.
And it's right about then Farouk and Arlen can see it too.
Huh.
Oh.
Is that a fluctuation in the warp field?
I don't think so.
The hell? Nope. Move me where you want, Corby. Sorry.
No, that's good.
Can I make any kind of guess as to what that is?
You could. Fitness plus.
Can I assist?
Ah, fuck.
Oh no! It's multiple people are assisting. You choose who the main roller is. I wouldn't be fitness. I lied to you. I'm sorry. Insight plus con difficulty 6.
Oh, joyous. Astrophysics? Sure. It only gives me a +1. I'm gonna spend my value always ask questions. I'm gonna do a bunch of things on this.
I will say to the three of you that feels like you're trying to remember something.
Yeah, I'm assisting. But I want to make an argument for medicine, not just because it's better.
Yes.
You could.
But-
You could.
Yeah.
So I am my Cochrane Medal of Excellence in Astrophysics. My focus range. I'm just gonna roll science because that's 4. I am going to tap my medal that lets me roll 2 challenge dice to see if you get 2 threat.
Mm-hmm.
You do get 2 threat.
Hooray. The comp goes up by 1.
And then I'm spending 3 momentum. Okay, I have stuff for this. I'm just making sure I have my everything set proper. Oh wait, no, I am going to do Insight Con because I don't want to roll for 14. I want to roll for 12. And then I'll just double check the numbers. But I have 2 hits already. Oh no.
That comp extends
hold
to people assisting, by the way.
I don't wanna.
Hey, you don't have to assist.
Our difficulty is 6.
Mm-hmm. He's at 4 hits so far out of the 6 he needs.
Okay. Composure.
Mm-hmm. I'd take that.
Want to spend the milestone. The time I scanned that weird, freaky space god hand thing for weaknesses.
Yeah.
Reroll.
I'm gonna reroll 3. Thank you very much. Neither of those are crits, but that is 6 successes, and then I am going to spend my. Which one is it? The one that lets me ignore the complication. The Legion of Honor.
Oh, just quash it?
Yeah, just to straight up quash the complication.
Okay.
And then
1, 2, 3, 4.
just
1, 2,
for
3, 4, 5,
that,
6.
for the
7.
helmet.
I count
All right.
7. Would Arlen like to assist?
Do I have any other traits that might make this entertaining?
You're assisting, so generally your traits don't come into it.
Okay.
Unless it like hits it square on the head, sort of thing. But even then, I usually
Focus.
don't.
Yeah, just roll.
Focus in technical insight, seeing this is a technical thingy.
Yeah, you were doing technical stuff before the shift.
Oh.
The 3 of you see the false horizon, that flickering line, and in the distance, ever so tiny, at the very edge of your perception, you see a gate made of resin, dressed in ice. And then you remember everything you forgot. Or rather, were made to forget.
Brooks. Oh, uh-oh.
Each of you can add the trait, I have seen the gate.
God, what? I don't need more traits.
And that will be the end of the episode.